Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome to Xbox Ultimate Podcast, episode numero 95. Welcome to the show. Thank you for being here.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I don't know why. I know we had Xbox Ultimate the last couple weeks. It just feels like it's been like weeks before we had a show. Like
it does.
Why does it feel like that?
I don't know.
It's just coming down off E3. There's just like no big news compared to E3. You know, it's just like small shit.
Yeah, I know we didn't have PM in the PM yesterday. We did have Fun Pop, but we didn't have FSP this week. So I think it's just like a little bit of like a lot of hit and miss right now with scheduling and stuff. Some things getting in the way and causing issues with stuff. But like also it was our last episode of Fun Pop on Wednesday. So that was kind of depressing. Yeah. Like Kate was like saying this is a lot sadder than I thought it would be. Like during
I
the
was
show.
depressed making the thumbnail.
Yeah.
With all the sad like superheroes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was horrible. it was the death of a child.
It does feel like 55-year-old or season-old or episode-old child. Yeah.
It's just a little over a year old to be all right.
We sent it away to boarding school. You know, maybe it'll come back one day, you know, in the future if we ever find a way to make that happen.
It'll come back angry. That's what happened.
Come back angry and bitter.
Yeah.
Shut me away. This is a new Fun Pop with an edge. With an axe to grind.
Edging with Fun Pop.
Whoa.
Oh.
But hey, everybody. Yeah, thanks for being here. Appreciate you, chat. See people here nice and early as well for the show. And you know, whenever there's not a lot of news to talk about, it's still awesome to have people show up for a podcast about Xbox, right? But we'll get into the introductions of the panel who's here today. Starting with first in my heart, my lovely wife, Caitlin. What's up, baby?
Hey, what's up, guys? It's going to be a great night. We're all in a super good mood, and let's go.
Wow, where the hell was this from? Where did this come from?
Absolutely. And the always fuzzy Belvedere is here as well. What's up, Fuzz?
Hey, what's up, everyone? Glad to be here as well. And man, let's get into the craziness of this past week of gaming.
Yeah. Lots of interesting things happening. People showing up in people's DMs and stuff, you know, like inappropriately.
Certain appendages showing up in certain people's
appendages
DMs.
showing up in people's DMs. Yeah. Hey, it's never a good idea to send body part pictures to people on the internet.
Yeah, psycho.
Hey, you know, I needed that release date, so what better way than show
I needed that release.
my third arm, you know?
You never know when it might come back to bite you. I'm just saying, you know what I mean?
She could bite.
Speaking of dick pics, what's up, Psychonauts? How's it going, man?
Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Psychonauts here on Xbox Ultimate on Friday.
Edging with Psychonauts. Yeah, let's go.
Nope.
Yeah. He's on the edge
It's great.
of glory.
It's a great,
Yeah.
great time. There's people melting down because of someone saying there's going to be a release date of something and it didn't happen, so the internet just decided to fucking shit the bed and just went insane. So I don't get it.
Amber
But let's
Heard?
talk about it. Yeah, they heard the bed. That's correct.
And we have the Encyclopedia of Gaming dating back to the very first game ever created, who I haven't talked to in like a fucking week. What's up,
Yeah.
Punk Soul?
Might even be longer than that, brother, because we
Might
didn't
have
even
been.
play games last week. So yeah, it's
Yeah,
been
you're
a
right.
while, fam. Missed you all. It was awful not doing PM in the PM last night. So it's great to be here on a Friday night doing Xbox Ultimate with all of my upbeat and cheery family. And of course, the chat. What is going on, chat? Shout out to all of you. It's great to be back here again. You know, slow news week, unless you're into dick pics, then it was a great week. So, you know what? We're going to get down to it, though. We're going to talk some stuff. There actually has been a couple topics that have come up this week that are quite interesting, in fact. So hopefully Matt put those down because I haven't talked to him, so I don't know what he's got on his list, but we'll see. Let's go.
Yeah, I got a few things. I got a few things up my
Oh,
sleeves.
no, I know he's got the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Mav, come on, Mr. Organized. Let's go.
I'm so organized, guys. You have
let's
no
go.
idea how much stuff I got prepared.
He's late on his spreadsheet. What?
Yeah.
I know how to operate spreadsheets. I do it for work all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you
And
were
Xbox
laying-
Ultimate.
Yeah, and Xbox
I
Ultimate.
thought you were spreading on your sheet. Sorry.
I've even made spreadsheets for like Xbox games yet to be announced and revealed and stuff. I got that on my desktop right here. I can show you. Jasper, the
I
realist.
got dick pics.
I know you do. Debbie Downer himself. Just don't use them for bait to get release dates, Psycho.
Okay.
All right. What's up, Jasper? How's it going, man?
Yo, how's it going? It's Xbox Ultimate. It's Friday. We got to get that energy going up in here.
Yeah, let's go. Let's get the energy.
I know we sound
What
like
happened
we're
to Jasper?
dying.
The pre-show guys, everybody was like, "Hi." What's
Save
up?
that
Yeah,
energy. You got to save
Saving that energy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got
Jasper
we're
gets sick and all of a sudden he comes back with a new personality. This is
Yeah.
fantastic. Let's go.
Yeah, it's
I didn't know that
Jasper
was one of the
2.0.
symptoms.
Yeah.
severe brain damage from it. Just reverse personality.
Right on. He's took all of his adrenaline and stuff to get better. I think it hasn't worn off yet.
Yeah.
So.
No more energy for the rest of the show. Just it's Debbie Downer.
It was just a one shot.
And shout out to 3-Bit who has also got issues going on right now. He's just had surgery as well. It sounds like some stuff that's pain related, you know, and the you know, I don't want to give too much info, but like
Yes,
Look,
Put it on
chat.
Twitter.
well.
Chat, 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon here. But if anybody knows some good witch doctors or
Yeah.
whatever the case may be that can remove curses, 3-Bit needs all the help. So hit him up in the DMs because that kid
Elderberry's not working.
is the elderberry is not helping
No.
him with this, but for some reason he's got the worst luck ever in life in all things outside of his job and his talent. So you guys need to help him out. Hop in his DMs, hit him up with some names that he can go to get that curse removed because
And some
3-Bit ain't doing good.
yeah,
yeah, send him some pics.
yeah. He loves dick pics in his DMs.
Wow. How is it going straight?
I'm
from
just
that?
kidding. No, we love you, 3-Bit. No, I hope you're start to feel better as well. And shout out to everybody. If you haven't been following on Twitter, I did put an update that we have received from Lupa's husband, John. And the last update that we had before that was she was going to be undergoing a procedure on the 22nd. Okay. That had gotten pushed back to about the 25th, and things did not go well with the procedure. Now there's a new surgery, open brain surgery, scheduled for July the 6th. So it is very important for everybody to send some positive energy and vibes or prayers or whatever it is that you believe in or do, you know, at times like that, because I think it helps, and she needs a lot of that right now. And I'm still holding out a lot of hope. She's been through this before, so she's very tough, you know, but it's definitely much needed for her. So just keep her in your thoughts and everything. And if I get any more updates, you know, I will keep you updated. But I also want to respect the privacy of her husband and Lupa and what they got going on. So I'm not like, you know, begging for updates every second. You know what I mean? I just want to share that news when it comes to me. But I will make sure I do that for you guys. But other than that, very sad news. We do have a show. And this was an interesting week for Xbox because there's not really any direct Xbox news, you know, not to say there's some things, you know, but what I want to start with is the holiday season might have gotten a little bit brighter for Xbox with some potentially leaked release dates. This comes from Tom Henderson on Twitter, and this guy just doesn't really miss. If you follow him, and if there's things that he misses, it's because things got changed, right? He gets information, he puts it out there, Some people don't like the fact that he puts some of the stuff that he puts out there because he's so accurate. It's actually like spoiling things for people at times, but he's pretty careful with some of the major stuff. But we got some release dates on some pretty big third-party games. Now, I remember on the Xbox Bethesda showcase and the whole E3 season, us being very like, where's EA? Where's Ubisoft? Right? They got to be having some stuff soon, right? They got to, because where are they? They were anticipated releases coming this year. Well, Tom Henderson seemed to have some information that Ubisoft was getting ready to do some kind of a show or announcement, and so was EA. And there's a couple things that have been kind of coming out about some release dates regarding that, and from different sources. But Tom Henderson kind of broke it all down on Twitter. So I'm going to kind of read this Twitter feed from him. This was regarding an article, I believe, that he had put on xputer.com, where he had actually broken down about a show that's supposed to be coming out that's going to be revealing some things. And one of the things he had talked about was also potential release date of God of War Ragnarok. He didn't know, says he doesn't know when it is for sure, but he did think it could possibly be the 11th. Just a thought, which he said would be sticking it to kind of Starfield and Xbox and everything like that. But that's not the biggest news that I took away from that, because we've already kind of speculated on that before. A couple of games that are coming to Xbox is what I want to talk about. The next Need for Speed installment, he says, is due to launch on November 4th. And that was one we were curious about. Is it going to hit this year? Well, right now it sounded like it's going to. So he also says that sources have also suggested that the current plan for Ubisoft's Avatar title is due to launch on November 18th. So that's two pretty damn big releases, 2 weeks within each other. And then also, if you continue to read on to his Twitter threads, somebody asked, isn't Skull and Bones supposed to be November as well? And he says, yeah, November 8th. So between November the 4th, November the 8th, and November the 18th, that's 3 pretty damn big third-party games coming to Xbox in November, on top of everything else that we already know about. I want to start with Pong on this. Is there a certain game in there that stands out to you that you're kind of excited about coming?
No, obviously
this year?
I'm always excited for a new Need for Speed, right? Hope that they can get back on track and, go back to the classics, but we've seen nothing, right? We've only had Grubb's rumors. Grubb had talked about it months ago and said it had a anime flair or anime aesthetic to it, like. So that has been on my brain ever since then. Yeah. But we saw that one. I think we had a leak of a supposed screenshot from it. So, but at the end of the day, Need for Speed is always got to, again, as an older gamer, as somebody who grew up on Need for Speed through all the years, and I've been playing it forever. I want to see Need for Speed come back. So I'm always excited for one, and hopefully this time around they get the formula right. They go back to the classic style. Even if it's got this anime aesthetic to it, hey, I'm down for it. I just can't wait to see what it looks like. I want to see it in action. So definitely hype for Need for Speed. And then Avatar as well. I want to see what they've done with Avatar. They got the movie coming out in December, so this all makes sense, right? That Avatar is going to release this year. But where are they taking it? Now, we've heard it's first person, right?
Right, which is crazy for an Avatar game, right? It's interesting.
Right, especially with the traversal and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be very interesting how they pull this off. Now, I saw some people, online guessing that this is going to be Avatar / Far Cry because they said it's open world, which certainly could be. I'm not against it. Obviously, I know a lot of people are kind of Far Cried out and Assassin's Creeded out. But at the end of the day, again, man, the big thing is we haven't had anything on these games. We haven't seen anything. Need for Speed, have we even had a teaser yet? I don't think we've even had a teaser.
We haven't had anything, I don't think.
Right.
No.
So this is like nuts. Like, I don't get it. Like, this is not normal.
We've had an acknowledgement that they've that they pulled. Remember, Criterion was pulled from that to help on Battlefield right at the time.
Yep.
And that had kind of moved the release date back for Need for Speed. That's all. That's I think all we know about this Need for Speed game, except for you're right, Grubb's rumors.
Grub's rumors, and then we got the teaser for Avatar, obviously,
Mhm.
but we know nothing about these games, and we're talking about four months away right now. We're
Yeah.
in July, so 4 months, bro. That's kind of crazy for both EA and Ubisoft to not have anything out there about these games more than what we've so far have gotten. So yeah, I mean, if these are going to come, if these are going to drop, I'm going to have interest. It's, again, October is so packed. October is so ridiculously packed right now. I'm not even thinking about November, but will these be welcome if they show up and at least, one of these games hits and is great? Sure, of course, absolutely, more the merrier, right? Never have enough games at the end of the day, even if it got, a never-ending backlog. It doesn't matter to me. So I'm all excited, but I want to see them. I just don't know where they're going to actually show them. That's what I'm curious about.
Yeah.
That means we've got to have some type of show beforehand. They're not just going to drop them.
Yeah, no, there's going to be some kind of showcase. There's got to be something.
Yeah.
Maybe Didn't Ubisoft say they'll be at Gamescom? I think they came out and said
I
we will
think
be at
Ubisoft said they
Gamescom,
will.
which was
I
kind of
think
an
so.
interesting announcement because
Yeah.
maybe they're going to use that as kind of like their showcase for the holiday.
But isn't when they, well, yeah, I suppose they could have more at Gamescom than they normally do, which
Right.
would be kind of different. That would be kind of cool, actually. I mean, awesome. I just want to see something.
I know.
Especially Need for Speed. Like, we've been waiting on a new Need for Speed, right? So we've been sitting around going, what are they going to do to bring Need for Speed back? And it's not like I have the utmost faith right now. I can only hope. But Grub gave me a little bit of light with his little crazy rumors. They're like, all right, they're trying something different, something new, but you got to show. I mean, I just got to see it. I got to know what this is, so I can have some type of opinion on it. But yeah, cool.
Maybe they're just trying to go about it this time around without showing anything, because we saw like what we saw like for certain games got great positive feedback, and then when the game comes out, then you're like, what the F? So maybe they're just trying to keep things quiet, minimal gameplay shown and anything.
Well, that causes people's red flags to go up when they do that too.
Yeah, there's red
Well,
flags. Anything, Jasper.
It could be red
nowadays.
flag.
Really?
It could be red flag, but if it comes off well, and we didn't have like this already seen gameplay, maybe they're trying to do something different this time around and be like, all right, let's, we didn't have the best of luck with having the gameplay showed, so let's maybe not show it, and let's see what happens. What's the worst? If they don't like it, they don't like it. I mean,
That is an interesting thing because they kind of did that with Apex, and it really boomed when they just kind of shadow dropped the game. So maybe they're going to learn from these like shadow drops and just like maybe the hype from a game just coming out like a day before it was announced or whatever. It's just like, hey, we got a large game coming out tomorrow. Check it out. It's free to play. Something like that. And I was looking it up. The Need for Speed thing, the only thing we have on it is their earnings call from this year when it said it was supposed to come out at the end of this year. So that's the only confirmation we have of Need for Speed. There's some leaked screenshots and stuff, but that's about it.
I would love a Need for Speed like Underground 3 or a remaster of Underground or something, of 2 or something along the lines. Is to really deck out your tuner cars is what a lot of people like, and that's what what is it, Horizon 5, kind of like what people liked about that, was able to put the body kits onto those cars, and there's not a lot of body kits, and that's like the one thing people kind of been like of wanting. They want a car game that has that tuner, because the tuner scene is still big regardless. Living in Florida, I see it fucking everywhere. I see these little freaking Hondas zipping around. Like, I'm like, is this Fast and Furious? Like, I thought this ended. And no, it's still, the tuner scene is still huge.
And it's never going to end.
No.
Oh, well,
Like muscle cars 50, 70 years later are still driving
but
around.
it wasn't Fast and Furious kind of just really put it out there in the market, in the masses, I should say. In the in the underground, like, behind the scenes, it was there, but not as big until those movies came out, and they just popped up everywhere. I mean, granted, some people just put decals, stickers on their cars. I was like, look, it goes faster now. But
Yeah, that's 5 horsepower.
yeah, I just added 18 horsepower with this sticker.
Right. Yeah. So Skull and Bones is interesting too, because we actually got a kind of a leaked trailer for that that seems completely legit. I mean, that thing is not fake. I'm saying it's
No. That was real.
so that leaked trailer, even though it's kind of like off-screen, kind of crappy footage or whatever, actually raised my interest in that game quite a bit. I have to be
Really?
honest. Yeah, I actually
Had
liked
the opposite effect for me.
Really? See, I liked what I saw. It looked pretty cool. It looked like it's like a Sea of Thieves clone, except without having to rely on a bunch of teammates on your ship. More of a solo. You are able to go more solo on a larger ship with ship battles, and you got your whole loot collection and bringing it back to the bases and stuff like that. It kind of seemed like Assassin's Creed Sea of Thieves in a way, right?
But no
it's
ship to ship, no ship to ship though. That's the problem. It's all just ship battles. You can't board the other ship, which is a problem
right
for me. At least.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because you could do that too with what is it? Odyssey. You can do ship to ship.
Yeah.
And I believe Black Flag you were able to do
Mhm.
ship to ship, and that's what Skull and Bones really was premised off of, as Black Flag. People played Black Flag, and that's what we wanted. It's like, yes, make this, and that's what they said, and then they went and changed their minds like 16 times, and it's like, what is it now? Did they go back to the roots of what people wanted and what the developers, the actual devs that were working on the game, what they felt passionate about? They wanted the original idea. They did not want this new monetization shit that Ubisoft is trying to cram down our throat because they need money. Listen, we'll give you money if your game is great. If you have like ship skin sales, crew members, things like that, we'll buy. If your game is great, we'll buy that. But don't fucking cram it down our throat where that's your premise of your game is to make you money, and the game does not play well.
I think they're just pushing this out the door is my problem.
So what? Gamers don't want NFT sales or new bows and stuff?
Don't even bring up it. No. They love NFTs. Gamers love NFTs. They love spending harder.
Troy Baker does.
Shit. Oh yeah. He doubled down on that.
Hey baby, is there any of those 3 games that stood out to you that you're kind of interested in at all, or are you just super excited about House Flipper and Fall Guys?
I haven't seen anything on any. Well, I saw a little bit of the Skulls and Bones. I'm definitely interested in that.
Mm-hmm.
If Need for Speed is like has an anime flair, then I'm out.
Oh my god, I'll show you anime.
I think it's just gonna be like skins you put on your car, like some anime chick you can put like paint on your car.
I think it's gonna be like interesting flames and stuff, like in like effects, is what the rumors were. But like, that could have been from a trailer, right? Like, what if Jeff Grubb saw an early trailer and they had some of that flashy stuff in the trailer that's not really actually part of the game? It's just a possibility. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I assume there'll be lots of customization. Though.
Oh yeah, right? There's got to be in a Need for Speed game. You got to have lots of customization.
Yeah, the Skulls and Bones. I really like Sea of Thieves, and I like that. The whole pirates and stuff.
Yeah.
And Avatar. I haven't seen anything on that, so.
Well,
it's supposed to be first person Avatar game.
Yeah.
So.
If you watched like the movie and shit,
that's
like
a couple times.
Yeah, I mean that's gonna be great, and being on Pandora, being able to run through the forests, and now with being in the ocean. So I wonder if that's what it's going to be, or if it's going to be the bridge between the movie from back in the early 2000s and this new one that's coming out. Is that gap, whatever it is that what this takes place? So it's not really 100% of like a movie rendition video game.
Yeah.
So the possibilities are endless of what they are trying to possibly give us, and I'm excited. I wouldn't mind.
It should be a pretty game, that's for sure.
The first person shooter aspect actually made me more intrigued on this. Like usually, like some games, I'm like, oh, that needs to be third person. But like when you say Avatar first person, that just like seems badass to me. You know what I mean? Because like it's like you can be the Avatar. Like and you have those abilities, and traversal, and all that kind of shit. You know, it just seems like interesting. This could be a sleeper, I think, because not a lot of people are talking about this, you know. But do y'all remember, like, Ubisoft is big on Avatar? Do y'all remember when they had their E3 presentation? It was like years back, and they had James Cameron on their stage, and he talked for like an hour and a half, just like nonstop about that Avatar like game that they were going to be bringing to Ubisoft, the last one that they had. And it was like, we're really trying to bring, you know, crossover between movies and video games and, you know, bring Avatar. And just James Cameron took up their whole E3 presentation. It was absolutely crazy. I hated the presentation because it's like, we want to see other Ubisoft stuff, right? But for Ubisoft to give them that much time at their video game conference, Ubisoft is really interested in this brand. And they're bringing out a Snowdrop engine as well, right? This first, which would be a different taste of Snowdrop, right? That's another aspect I'm excited. I'm just excited to see how this engine does with that kind of game, right?
Is Riders Republic in Snowdrop?
No,
just Division.
Yeah, Division's the only
Division. Yeah, Division and Massive's new Star Wars game will be in Snowdrop and Avatar. So they're seeing how amazing those games are in the Snowdrop. So we're gonna start seeing more games in that engine because they have a phenomenal engine on their hands.
Yeah, they do. That's a beautiful engine. The detail in Division is insane for what kind of game it is
and how old it is.
Yeah.
Shout out to John TJ, hit us with a $10 super chat. He says, "Hi guys, I can't wait for EA to announce Need for Speed. Keep up the great content. I'm hopping in and out between you guys and Risk It for the Biscuits podcast. I want Skull and Bones." Yeah, shout out to those Aussies over there as well, having a great show. Yeah, Skull and Bones seems awesome. Need for Speed seems awesome. Appreciate the support, John TJ. Another $10 super chat from John TJ says, "I want the new Need for Speed to be a new edition of Underground with customization from all Need for Speed games, but have it where we can go to real racetracks like Underground did." The rumored title of this Need for Speed is called Unbound, and so we're supposed to be potentially getting information in July. That's the last information we have. Is like they're set to reveal their like fall holiday slate at some in July at some point, and that would also include Skate 4 information, which may not actually be a this year game, but it would be a 2023 game, and that would also potentially be FIFA 23 information, stuff like that as well. So that's what the rumors are currently. That's again via Tom Henderson.
Skate 4 is definitely not this year because they showed off some pre-alpha footage is what they called it. Yeah, but it's looking great. I mean, they've got tons of people testing on it and everything else, and I think they actually are taking open applications for testers as well to try.
Are they volunteers?
Yeah, pretty much. but it looks pretty damn good what they've got so far, because they showed like the really basic footage that they had people working on, but then they showed what they expect it to look like, or some, you know, closer to reality. It looks damn good and looks damn cool because they're taking a lot of feedback from people of what they want in a skate game and putting it in there. So it looks really cool.
Especially with that like map editor they're making where you can like make Palinko or whatever, just like break your bones.
And also $2 super chat again from John TJ, dude, appreciate you so much. He says, "I hope my super chat becomes reality." Me too. Need for Speed Underground would be, I think, a lot of our dream game. You know, just bring that tuner aspect type game back from like late 90s, early 2000s, that vibe. Bring it out currently. What are you expecting from Need for Speed, Fuzzy? Because it's been a while. I mean, I think they're taking their time with this one to make sure they actually make a good game this time.
Well, I'm hoping a lot of the experience from Codemasters now being under the fold really helps them with, you know, just going into the nth degree of detail on different things like the different exhausts, different intakes, and different tunes for engines and such. Even though Codemasters has been more of the, you know, track racer or like off-road racing, you know, licensed IP type of, you know, driving sim or racing company, I think they'll help with the handling and the racing aspect, but also hopefully the reality or the realistic applications for some of the things like ground effects, spoilers, and such. So I'm hoping this is at least on par with like Forza Horizon, let's say,
Yeah.
but in like a, you know, a more like Fast and Furious type of setting, whether it's like day and night racing type of stuff, street racing. Like it's the one thing that I think is kind of missing from Forza Horizon. Yes, you can street race in it, but it's kind of like you have to, you know, do your own like little subgroup while you're playing in the free roam, you know, type of space.
Yeah.
I'm hoping Need for Speed gives us that, like, all right, let's just travel the highway, see somebody with a fast car, beep the horn 3 times and go, you know, as fast as you can down the highway type of deal, or, you know, things along those lines. I really hope that's what they kind of focus on, the customization, the day and night street racing mentality and all of that to go with it. So fingers crossed.
The last nighttime racer thing they did back, was it was just called Need for Speed, wasn't it? Where they had all like the racing legends, like in like live action, like cutscenes and stuff.
Yeah,
that had so much potential, but the racing just felt off on that game to me. It just was like, I don't know, like something was wrong with that. It felt empty. The racing felt bad. The whole live action stuff was just kind of like annoying more than it actually added to the game for me. But like that was a potential, if they had went the right direction with that one, potential to get on the right path for Need for Speed, where it seems like they concentrated on all the wrong things.
Yeah. If not, I think the Codemasters will definitely help, you know, at least the feel of the racing aspect of it. And if they can, they don't really have to make it like a Fast and Furious style movie, but all they have to really do is just get the core stuff down, you know, the drag races near like the airport or near like a like the dealership lots. Like everybody has like where there's a line of like 5 or 6 dealerships and there's usually night racing that happens there. So if they can get stuff like that down pat, or some of the stuff like across the bridge type thing, or from light to light type stuff, I think they'll have a hit on their hands. But you know, fingers crossed they really, I don't know about the anime aspect. I mean, adding the like, if it's like designs and things like that for the cars, but if it means that the cutscenes are more of like an anime style, I don't know if that will, you know, work as well.
Grubb said it was more fuzzy, like it's hard to explain, but like let's say you're drifting, like the smoke from the drift will have an anime feel to it more than a realistic feel. You know, like that cartoon, just
kinda
like the
Mario Kart, like 8, where you drift and you see like the blue sparks and shit.
Yeah, you're gonna have like that cartoonish feel to some of the highlights in the road. He talked about the lights being more anime style on the roads, that kind of stuff, but the cars themselves being more realistic based, as we know from Need for Speed. But just having some of that, the effects, like the special effects, are going to be that anime.
I would almost say like how he's saying anime. Maybe you could also interpret it as like more comic book style effects,
cartoonish,
or animated, not necessarily like
anime style. Yeah. I'm wondering if it's more like kind of like the way Street Fighter 6's got like the colorful highlights and things like that when you do different combos. So that would actually be kind of cool. So if they take the realistic car look and mix that with those effects, I think they'll have something pretty interesting that people will, you know, spend tons of time in.
And the Dirt 5, like the feel of Dirt 5, the feel of the driving in Dirt 5 is closer to any Need for Speed than we've had in a long time. I'm talking about the classic Need for Speeds that we all love. The Dirt 5 driving, even though it was, you know, not street racing, that's the way the cars used to feel in Need for Speed. And that's what I want back again. Now they came closer with the last one. They got a little bit better, but they still need to get more arcadey. That's what Need for Speed was based on. And that's what I want back again. Pulling off crazy, you know, crazy drift moves, passing cars, but, you know, feeling in control, but having not that realistic where you lose control or it's too tight. You got to have some looseness to it. That's what Need for Speed was all about. So that's what I want.
I just want them to treat this property with the respect it deserves and go big on it. You know what I mean?
You want another movie?
No. Although that movie, I didn't mind it. Like, I like stupid movies at times, but like what I mean is a lot of times like these devs and these publishers, like they relegate certain genres to like, okay, like this is going to get this allocated amount of budget and time. Right. And they just keep trying things until something clicks, and it just they lose interest. They lost the focus of what it was all about in the first place, and they kind of just make a bunch of shit over. Oh, we're gonna reboot it because it didn't work last time. We're gonna reboot it again. We're gonna reboot it again. You know, you got a year and a half to make a new Need for Speed game, guys. You know, this is a big seller for us. We're gonna try again. And they're like, what's wrong? Your game's not, franchise isn't selling anymore. Nobody likes it anymore. What's going on? Well, you haven't fucking made a good game. You're just concentrating on fucking putting out random shit and finding different ways to utilize the Need for Speed name. Like, if you actually go and treat it with respect, you go back and find out what the core essence of it was, and then put the talent behind it, give it the time it needs, and come out with a fucking good game. And I'm hoping to God that's what happened this time. I really am, because Need for Speed used to be like one of the top tier racing franchises. Like, some of you guys are so young, you don't remember, you know? It was like every year when there was a Need for Speed, it was like, man, like Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. And I'm not talking about the Hot Pursuit remake. I'm talking about the other Hot Pursuit, the original one, way back on PlayStation and PC, right? And then they remade that with another good one, right? And then they remade that one again. They're actually Hot Pursuit, they've had like 3 good Hot Pursuit games, right? But that Most Wanted was popular. You had Underground and Underground 2. And those games didn't have like big time focus on like story with, as far as like, you know, you're following cutscenes and all this kind of stuff. They had the story like kind of like little boxes that would pop up with like dialogue, or like people talking to you in the car and stuff like that. That was like an element to it to kind of give you like a career path. But the focus was on the cars, the customization, the city, and the racing, right? And that's when it was good, man. That's when it was Need for Speed was at its best. And when they implemented all this other like stuff, trying to like put some shine on it, they took away from all the things that made it good. Like those other Need for Speed games, like some people like them, but like they felt empty, boring, and the racing kind of sucked. These newer ones, and that's not what it's about. It's about having fun. And those games have a chance to be great. This is one of those franchises that EA squandered and kind of fucked up. You know what I mean? Like,
companies overthink it sometimes.
Yeah.
They think that they have to change things to keep it fresh, and from going stale, instead of sticking to the core, like you just talked about, of what makes them great. And then they change the formula up, and then it all falls apart, and then they change the formula up again, and it continues to fall apart, and they look around going, we don't know what's going on. Why doesn't people like this like the old days? Because you lost exactly what made it great in the first place by trying to change things up too much. I'm all for, and I'm not one of those guys who says that games shouldn't evolve or that devs shouldn't try new things, but I'm all for like a franchise like Need for Speed. Give it time off, even if we didn't get the releases like we used to, even if it was like 5 years between releases, but you guys came out with another core Need for Speed game like the old days, it would still have that excitement and hype around it. Maybe it was getting a little stale because you guys started releasing almost like, I think it was at one point. I don't think it was year. Was it every year?
I think it was every year.
Did they get to a year? I thought they got to maybe the 2-year mark, but okay. So every year, just like Call of Duty, it gets stale. So take some time off, but don't lose focus on what it made great in the first place. That's when shit really falls apart. And then you have like 3 in a row that everybody's like, this is not what I want. And you can't figure that out. It's like Battlefield all over again. EA is notorious for this with their franchises. And again, just go back. Just have Codemasters sit down, replay all the old ones, and then come out with something. But maybe that's what happened. Maybe Codemasters can find that old magic again, and we'll finally get something great out of this one. I'm hoping so, because I love Need for Speed.
Let's get into some more super chats from John TJ again. Just flooding us with these super chats, dude. Appreciate it 100%. He says, with a $5 super chat, Need for Speed Heat is the closest we have been to my dream of Need for Speed. Need for Speed Heat was a pretty good game. I personally didn't really like it myself, but it's their best attempt in years, I think. They kind of went back a little bit to that formula, but like it still wasn't living up to the other racing games that were out.
And let's not make the cops Terminators. Okay, the cops can be hard, but let's not make them Terminators. All right, it was ridiculous, like out of control.
And then another $2 super chat. Peak Slip Racing needs to come back. I wouldn't mind that. Y'all remember Need for Speed Pro Street?
Yes.
I actually did not mind that. It was like the different take on like
Yeah.
I felt like they could have like went 2 different games, had like a underground series and then a Pro Street series, right? And then maybe 3 and then a Hot Pursuit series and then do those 3 different avenues forward. You know, you have 3 teams, 3-year development cycles. It almost seemed like it would have made a lot of sense for me. Anyway, another $5 super chat from John TJ says, I want realistic graphics, but arcade gameplay that's perfect for Need for Speed. Yeah, that's like what Underground was. $2 super chat also from John TJ says, I'm tired of EA screwing up my favorite franchise. Well, they've really fucked up on Command & Conquer, which was one of my favorite franchises of all time. John TJ also $5 super chat says, don't forget Need for Speed High Stakes. Great game, was my first Need for Speed. I don't remember which one that one was. That was quite a ways back. Was it High Stakes? When did that come out?
99.
99?
Yeah, I was looking
Steel,
it up.
you didn't like Carbon?
There was only like 4-year gap where Need
Yeah.
for Speed was actually good for me. And it was Underground 2003 all the way up to Undercover in 2008. That's like they're good years, and then the rest I don't care about.
Right. So before that, like my first Need for Speed was the very first Need for Speed.
Yeah.
And I first played it on a 3DO at an electronics store, right? On a big screen TV. They had that on a display with the 3DO there. And I played Need for Speed and I was like, what is this? Right. And then eventually I got it on PlayStation, you know. Then I got, you know, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, all those original ones. And like those original Need for Speeds back in the day were next level compared to racing games back then. There was not a lot. I mean, I think in Hot Pursuit, the first Hot Pursuit, like there was actual like flipping. You could flip your cars and wrecks and stuff, you know? So me and my friend would like.
Yeah, you could just go play Burnout though. It's much better.
Well, that came out later, right?
Yeah.
Burnout was great too. But like me and my friend, we would like be on opposite ends of the track and just drive as fast as we could together towards each other and see if we could hit and see who caused the other car to flip the most, right? And we'd win. That was our game that we played. You know, it was great back then. I think y'all brought up Carbon. Steel Rain brought up Carbon. Need for Speed Carbon. That one almost kind of, if I remember right, they had like some of that neon effects and stuff like on Need for Speed
That's
Carbon.
why they were trying to go back to the Underground style. I think.
Right. So I don't know. I think there's potential like for this. I think there's potential with Skull and Bones. I think it's not going to be like something that's going to click for everybody, but Skull and Bones could be something that I think could become a pretty damn big game. And then as far as Avatar, my mind's completely open on that, man. Like
that could surprise. That really could be the surprise if it
Avatar,
shows
yeah.
well. Yeah, especially with the, you know, obviously with the team behind it, with the engine. If they pull that off, that might be the one that comes out of nowhere, like Guardians of the Galaxy did last year, and just be like, wow, this is an absolutely fabulous game. I got to play this. So I think that's the one that's got the most potential. So for sure.
Yeah, you tell, you know, some people like, Far Cry, Avatar, that fucking sounds awesome to me. You know what I mean? Like hell yeah, give me an Avatar Far Cry game. That just sounds sick. You know what I mean? Give me like if you could like take the Far Cry formula, the open world stuff, and you kind of like create different license properties and just kind of throw it in around there, it could just work. I don't know.
Well, they kind of started doing that. I mean, they got all those, like every game they added started having towers and waypoints you had to capture and stuff like that. So
yeah,
they kind of use that formula.
You're right. Like, and I'm not saying every game needs to be that, but like if they did it with like these license type things, you know what I mean? Not they're like, don't take like Rainbow Six and make Rainbow Six Far Cry, right? Don't take Ghost Recon, make Ghost Recon Far Cry. You know what I mean? Like, but you could take different licensed things and kind of fit it into all these different formulas of the different franchises that people have. And I think it'd be a good, interesting take on it. They kind of did that with Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, even though it wasn't on a different IP, but it was like an 80s action vibe, right? I could imagine like that had been like Terminator Far Cry or some shit like that. You know what I mean? It could have been awesome.
But Avatar with the creatures and stuff is going to be interesting. If you can pair up with them, you can fly. If you can ride the big panther-looking things, or whatever, I always forget their names. But that's going to make things interesting in Avatar, especially if you can call on them to help out and stuff. If you're attacking a base, that would be pretty sweet. If you could use like nature around you to help you out, That would be pretty cool. So I think they could introduce some new mechanics that might make it a different enough from Far Cry, where even the people that are saying, I don't want another Far Cry, even if it's Avatar, wind up going, oh, you know what? This actually looks pretty freaking cool. Let's do this. So I think there's potential here for that.
Yeah, right on. And well, holy shit, man. We just got a $50 super chat. Very super generous super chat from John TJ. He says, I wish Playground would go to EA and do a collaboration where they add pink slips in Forza and more customization in cops. Forza has the best graphics. Just think about it. Split the profit 70-30. EA, give EA a 30%. I would buy it. I would say just like, hey, why don't they just do their own little, they don't even need EA, right? Like just they could go and make their own little, the next Forza Horizon be like Forza Horizon, you know, on the chase or some shit like that. I don't know.
I love cops. I've wanted cops in Horizon forever. I think
here's the only drawback, because I tried posing this idea, and man, they tried to chase me off the Forza forum like I was
right.
a leper or something. Because I was like, hey, just make a mini game, because they already have like cat and mouse where you can have like big vehicles versus little vehicles. I was like, you know, since you have the police cars, the police siren in there. And it was funny. Me and my friend would have like our cars set up as police cars, and we'd sit on the highway. This was back in Forza Horizon 4. And as people would fly by, we'd pull out with the sirens and everything. So sometimes people would be like, "What the heck?" And then they would actively participate in the chase. Other times it would scare people, and they would crash off the side of the road. But when I suggested that, and I showed some of the footage of it on the forum, people were like, "Well, if you want that, just go play Need for Speed." I'm like, just add it as a add-on. Like it could be a mini.
They used to have a
have
mode like that in GTA 4. There was a cops and robbers mode in GTA 4 where you could like one team was the cops, one team was the robbers. That was like the best game mode in that. It was so fun. And then they kind of removed it for 5 and it just ruined it. And it's like,
did they have cops in Test Drive Unlimited? I can't remember. I almost feel like there was
no. I don't think Test Drive ever had it. No, I'm trying to think. No, no. I'm gonna say
tickets? No. I thought you got tickets or something.
I thought there was. I think there was some aspect in Test Drive Unlimited with some kind of like cops or something. I don't remember 100%. Do you remember, babe? You played the heck out of Test Drive Unlimited.
I don't remember any cops.
No.
Or tickets or anything in that game.
Okay.
Hold on.
There's a Games Facts post about what's wrong with the cops. I guess they were like too OP or something.
In Test Drive Unlimited?
Yeah, there was. There was.
Right.
Yes, there was. I was completely wrong.
I don't know if I maybe played like if there was a mode where you could like
Test Drive Unlimited 2 had them.
Yeah.
So
okay.
So not the one I played.
No, you played one. John TJ with a $10 super chat again. Hey, John TJ, appreciate you, man. It says yes, Test Drive Unlimited 1. I had them.
Yes, they had them too. I just saw the video on it, so they did have them.
I don't remember the cops at all in that.
It's just a vague little back of my head memory because I played the shit out of that game. That's one of the games that 1,000 Gamers scored and actually tried to.
Did I.
Like that was fucking amazing. I really am excited to see what they do with this new one that's coming out. Test Drive Solar. Is it Solar Crown? Unlimited Solar Crown.
Yeah, I think they got delayed till next year though, didn't
it? It did.
Yeah.
So that's in like Shanghai, I believe, right? With like all the lights in the city, and you got like gambling and a casino and all these things. And like I think didn't in Unlimited 2 they add where you can get out of the car?
Yeah, well, you went into clothes stores and stuff. You could buy clothes, and you could buy houses, all that kind of stuff.
I think they're gonna go to the next level on this.
If they do that at next level, yeah, it's gonna be freaking phenomenal. Like if you can go gamble and win some money to go buy some cars, that'd be sweet. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Essentially, it'll be Grand Theft Auto without the Grand
no
Theft.
violence.
Yeah.
Unless you just run over people, right?
Maybe it's like the old like games where they just like magically jump out the way.
I love doing that, man. I just like it was like a mini game for me. Just like I gotta hit one. Like there's gotta be a way. You know what I mean? But like always somehow get out of the way. You know. A freaking great game though. I can't. We'll see. You know, when they reboot a game that's been gone like so long, like Test Drive has, I'm always like curious, like how is this dev gonna do? But it is made of former devs, I believe, that had worked on it before. But those devs had went on to work on The Crew, I believe, right? And then
some of them, yeah.
And then so I'm kind of curious because The Crew didn't really do it for me.
I think they tried to go with too big of a map, and it didn't. like I think if they had just focused on one region, like I
Yeah.
get the whole concept that they were trying to go with the first one, and then the second one, I think adding planes may have been a bit much.
Every city
that
was
too.
like a assy copy of like the actual one. It's like it only like a third, or not even a third, only like a tenth, basically, of like the landmarks you'd expect to see there. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
not really all that in a bag
Yeah.
of chips.
I think my state had like one barn in it, and then I was out of my state.
Yeah. Like Dallas was just like a joke in there, which was one of the cities that was in the last group. And I remember like, oh, I'm going to check it out. You know, Dallas is going to be awesome. Like, yeah, this is a bunch of big flat warehouse type looking buildings and like 2 skyscrapers. That's not what Dallas is like. The Dallas has like a beautiful skyline, you know, like in real life and stuff. And it's kind of made a mockery of it. It was a little disappointing.
Hopefully in the near future, they'll have games where it's more like Flight Simulator, where they can use either Bing or Google Maps and do the rendering from there, and handcraft some of the main cities and stuff like that. But I think at that point, that'll be like 2 generations away before we can get that
if
in
you
like
can
a
use like
racing game.
satellite imagery as photogrammetry to make a game, like that's when that shit's gonna start getting crazy.
Yeah, for sure. Another $10 super chat from John TJ. Appreciate you again, John TJ. Dude, just like, yeah, dude, he's just going fucking crazy today, bro. He says, I can't wait for the new test drive you guys getting at Forza Horizon 5. Map size is 40 square miles. The new test drive map is 340 square miles big, and it's in Hong Kong. Okay, not Shanghai. Awesome, man. Yeah, super excited. And another $5 super chat from John TJ. Says they got the original director, but they are under the team that created the WRC rally games, which means better physics. Okay, the WRC is known for being some pretty damn good racing. You know what I mean? So, I think that'd be great.
Top notch. They have the top notch physics for racing, like rally games. They're really, really good. So that really piques my interest there. So I'm excited.
Yeah, right.
That's a massive. That's a big map. If it's 340 square miles.
Yeah, that's
in Hong
huge.
Kong.
Yeah. It would kind of be that like Tokyo nighttime racing experience that I wanted. You know, it's in Hong Kong instead, or whatever. It's just like I want that highway racing, man.
We can only hope, Mav, at this point that we finally get one of those back again, man.
Oh god,
I just can't believe the original developer is still around and they're making mobile games. What a shame.
Oh, yeah.
What an absolute shame.
I know, dude, it's such a wasted opportunity. That
people
don't understand how
people
good
don't
Tokyo
know.
Extreme Racer was.
People don't know.
They don't.
No idea. Nope.
No, it's a long lost IP that was just one of my favorites of all time. So moving on, we got to move on, I guess, from this. You know, we can talk about all this stuff all day, but I did want to get into the information with Activision Blizzard and the union, labor union, CWA, had actually sent in a letter of support to the FTC saying, hey, we approve of this acquisition, right? There was some
smaller news that came out of with them too. Blizzard bought a new studio.
Yeah.
Yes, it did.
What was that?
Getting, the developers buying Spellbreak or Spellforce. Something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Spellforce or Spellbreak? Because it's 2 different games.
Spellbreak. Yeah. 100-person studio.
Isn't that the battle royale game?
Yes, and they're shutting it down. They're shutting it down next year, the servers, and they're all going to help out with WoW now. So
okay, that game's not horrible. I mean, I've tried it.
It's another studio that's going to be under the Xbox name when it deal goes through. So
yeah,
exactly.
Xbox can't make a purchase, so let Blizzard make it for them.
More like Activision Blizzard have been bleeding talent and they can't get it back, so now they're just going to go buy talent up. That's exactly what's happening here. So, but either way, it's great because those people are talented, and obviously they made them offer they couldn't refuse. So they sold. So another 100 people to Xbox, Microsoft when this gets done. So
nice.
I just want to say Yasuo,
10,000.
and everybody, welcome to the chat. Thank you guys. Thank you.
Yeah. What's up? I guess that's a Greek word there, Psycho.
Yasuo. He is saying hi.
Okay, right on. And yeah, shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you guys for watching. It means a lot, every week that you guys are here. So, all right,
real quick.
Yeah, baby.
Is the GTA stuff on your list? Just curious.
The GTA leaks.
Yeah.
We can talk about that first if you want. I mean, it was
Why
not.
wouldn't you?
Because it's unfounded. It's just random. You know what I
But
mean?
it's
Yeah.
from Idle Sloth.
Those all other.
It-
I mean, that's all rumors kind of start as random.
I tend to usually talk about rumors I feel like are more substantiated. However, like this one could be worth the conversation. We don't know, right? Like, but the thing is, there was very specific information. I just, when I looked at the
Exactly.
dollar amounts of like what their expected like in revenue and like their marketing budget and stuff was, there's a lot of just like round one numbers what involved ones, like 1 billion, 100 million and stuff in there. It just kind of seemed to lose a little bit of credibility with
Well, they
that.
were gonna
you know?
round up, or
Right. We're expecting to make $1 billion in 24
Well,
hours,
GTA
and our marketing
5
budget is 100
made
million.
1 billion in like 3 days or whatever.
Right.
wasn't it?
I'm just saying, like, do they not usually go with like more research to figure these numbers out, or they just have the big, like the most round number possible? You know, like when I saw 1 billion, I was like, okay, like that's kind of like an even round.
Oh,
just
so you want it
flat.
to be like 2.5 billion? You
Yeah,
got it.
1.2 billion or like 878 million, or I don't know, like just something more like, I expect a round number, but I don't expect it to be 1 billion, you know? And when the marketing budget, I don't expect it to be like 100 million or whatever. You know what I mean? I expect it.
If a game that you cared about, no matter what was leaked or potentially like rumored, you would be talking about it.
What?
And this is like a gaming channel, so you should just really cover it all.
No,
Okay.
because
Well,
your wife
Lots of
loves
what you care
Grand
about.
Theft Auto. That's what this is
Yeah.
about. This is Kate loving her
Yes,
obsession with
it
Grand
is.
Theft
We'll
Auto.
get into the. We'll get back into the CWA thing and
Well,
stuff in a
I've-
little bit.
I
But those,
haven't been playing that much GTA lately. I'm all in on Fall Guys.
all right. So
for now.
I just saw this tweet that just made me laugh.
You got to
shut-
sign back in. It's a new month. Get your $500,000 in your new
Yes.
house or whatever.
all right. So GTA leaks. All right. This was, I think it's in one of our DMs. I did not bring it
Yeah,
up. But
Psycho put it in.
yeah,
one of them
and that's
last night.
usually when it comes from Psycho too. It's like I have another little credibility check
Well,
that I
if
add
it-
into.
No, no,
Well,
no. This is
I
from
I'm just kidding.
scour-
I know. I'm just kidding.
I scour the internet. I put what's,
Share shit
I'm
from
like,
that
yeah, we'll
person all the
see.
time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah, and Idle
Yeah,
Sloth will, he'll tweet about random rumors that he doesn't know are true or not. And
I mean,
he
he's a big
lets that be.
insider, right?
Idle Sloth, yeah. Shout out to Idle Sloth, but
He's
yeah,
a collector of information.
collective
Yeah, he's
information.
slothing right now.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
he could be listening right now. Now he does like to share like a lot of rumors and leaks and stuff. Some of it could end up being true, some of it not. He's just putting the stuff out there, right? Where is that info? Do you have it in front of you, babe?
Oh, do I have it in front of me? I can bring it up real quick. Probably
Okay.
quicker than you.
I have it now. I didn't know if you wanted to read it.
Trying to see which DM.
It's in the gaming news group. I have it here.
Okay, well, are you waiting for me to read it? Do you want me to read it, or
I'll go ahead and read it. Okay, so Alpha Script last updated 30th of June 2022, an entire summary of Rockstar's free marketing. Title GTA Grand Theft Auto 6. Developer Rockstar Games, publisher Take-Two. Development started in 2014. Engine Rage. Story length approximately 4,500 minutes. The story's main characters are Ricardo, Casey, and Rose. The story map size is 140 square miles. The map, this didn't make a lot of sense to me too, because it says Map Liberty.
It's Liberty City, Vice City, and
But it
I don't
says
know what
Liberty. It says
Cottonmouth.
Liberty State,
it
Carcer
says
City,
something
Vice
about
City.
South America.
Cottonmouth would be like a prologue set in South America. A time
like how they did
setting
with
would be
Red Dead.
2023, so it'd be a current day setting. Production budget $500 million, estimated sales $1 billion, and marketing budget $100 million. I would also expect the marketing budget to actually be higher than that for this game potentially. I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
You don't think
I don't
so?
think so, Mav.
No.
No.
No,
Mm-mm.
you're wrong.
You're talking about the map problem. The latest like leaks over the years have been that they're going to combine a bunch of the maps together into one big map, and you're going to be able to travel between different cities.
Yeah, but I just don't know why it says Liberty State, Carcer City, Vice City. Like Liberty City is a city. right? Unless they're just talking
But,
about.
they could be changing it because it was supposed to be like based off New York State, Liberty City. So maybe it's just they're just gonna call it Liberty State, or
Right.
something.
So I don't know what Carcer is, and then Vice City.
Maybe a new city, possibly.
Right. And then
Maybe their
planned
version of Chicago or something.
planned announced
Yeah.
reveal would be Q3 2022, which would be coming up in the fall time, and then planned release would be Q4 2024. That falls in line.
Right.
It seems like a lot of educated guesses on here, except for like some of the information. You know, I just don't.
Matt,
don't
why
know.
are you picking this apart? We're in speculation town. Let's roll with it.
Okay, it's this. Take it as fact, everybody. Let's
It's
go.
like
Let's roll with it.
Who cares about?
I
He's just
know.
trying to
I know.
crush Caitlin's dreams.
I'm not.
I care about this.
Okay, so if this was true, would this excite you, babe?
Absolutely. Are you kidding me? I'm so ready for this game.
Yeah.
Mav, you ready for the credit card to have NFT purchases on it for this game?
Yeah. It will. Kate's gonna,
$1,000 skin, babe.
we're gonna own.
I got a Louis skin for my
Yeah.
purse. Just wait. Just wait.
We're gonna own land in Liberty State.
You're gonna own
that.
a real apartment in Liberty City that
gotta
costs.
Did you just say a
$500.
real apartment?
A real
A real
apartment.
NFT
A
apartment.
virtual.
It's the same
A
thing.
virtual apartment.
Yeah,
A real digital apartment.
a real.
It has
So
digital
I'm
square
the only
footage.
one that can have it?
It's
Hold
only
on.
hers, and she can only let whoever. So she's gonna let VIP parties in her apartment.
What if
You
they
gotta
have
pay.
like House Flipper within GTA, and you could actually
I
create your own
know
shit within
that.
GTA, babe?
You would
And you have
never
to
see it.
buy the land first and then
Yeah.
design your house.
No, we're gonna be real estate tycoons in GTA, and we're going to buy the land. And I'm gonna try and get all the buildings, and I'm gonna like sublet them, and I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
That's gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't
can you
doubt that there's
imagine?
not a business there if they go full out.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if they actually?
Fuzzy,
did
how
that?
long ago did we have this conversation? Fuzzy's been on this
Oh,
for
yeah.
a long time. Fuzzy talked about this last year that he thought GTA would be the first game that comes out with NFTs like that it
Yeah,
made sense.
I agree.
And when he started explaining, we had a full discussion about this. I think it was on the shop that
Yeah.
this could be a deal like where you legit have rich people buying up virtual land within GTA because it's so damn popular, and then turning around and creating a business out of it where people are actually paying real money.
Especially with that
Wow.
role play side of things,
Right.
that they're if they
Yeah.
go full role play with this new multiplayer mode, you're gonna be able to buy apartments and then have a job and just make fake money and then sell your fake shit for real money.
I would be honestly, babe, just if that's a thing, get ready because I'm not joking. I will be all over that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
I'm excited.
So would you get to like design and decorate the houses and stuff for people?
Potentially, you
what?
could get a job as an interior decorator and
Yeah, but
actually
if
go.
you see my house,
Yeah,
like,
interior
Virtual-
design in GTA.
But everyone's got to
interior
start at the
decoration.
burger
Your
shop.
house
you
by
gotta, you gotta
fancy.
sell some burger patties first.
Right.
Get Interior.
What's the
design.
burger shop called there?
I think it's called.
Burger Shot.
There's Cluck and Bell. There's
There's
I
the
think
one
Burger
that
Shop's
looks
called.
like In and Out. I forget what it's.
Out and in.
I don't know.
I forget what the In and Out knockoff is, but there's Burger Shot and like Jasper saying Cluck and Bell. Then there's like Taco something,
Yeah.
Taco
I
Bomb
just-
or something.
I just know my stripper Nikki better be in this next version.
What if you lose your stripper, Jasper? Are you gonna be okay?
I guess I'll have to make a new one. Go to the club, pay a shit ton of money, and then she's my friend.
I
That's
guess
how that
it's
works.
called Up and Adam. The In and Out place.
Up and Adam.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds.
That sounds like a breakfast joint. Maybe.
Sounds like some dick pills.
Uh-oh.
Oh, maybe. Is that you're just used to that because you bought those with microtransactions of the dick pills for your stripper,
Yeah.
and then you use the pictures to try and get release dates of God of War. Yeah. All right. So shout out to Shane with the $2 super chat. Says deal gets done by holidays. Merry Xmas, Xbox gamers. So let's get back into like this CWA stuff. So CWA is like one of the largest labor unions out there for media, I guess, and that type of business.
It is the largest.
The largest.
for that.
Okay. And they have sent in a letter of support to the FTC regarding the Activision Blizzard acquisition by Microsoft. Now, the reason that I think this is important, but this is one avenue. They still have to get, several approvals and stuff like that. But
Is that your kid dying in the background, man?
yeah, she's. Oh my God.
all right.
She has recently learned the ability. The teenage scream. Like the teenage, like teen bopper scream.
Yes.
She has learned the ability to do that by herself lately, and she practices it. And it is.
You're playing Fortnite.
It is blood curdling. They were swimming in the pool like 2 days ago, and there was like a bee. Yeah, yeah, and there was a bee or something, and she like
over her head, and she lost her shit. She was screaming bloody murder like she was being kidnapped or something.
Yeah.
And she's like, we have to get out now. Oh, and since we got this, I can tell the rest of the fucking story. So she gets out of this pool so fucking fast, runs to the door to go inside because this girl is terrified, okay? So Matt was in the pool with us earlier. He had left. He locked us out of the fucking house. At the door, terrified, and she cannot get in.
I didn't mean to.
Good job, Dad.
Call him.
Great job.
Downstairs and let us in.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm really glad you had your phone because I can't hear shit in here.
Yeah.
Have to start throwing rocks at your window.
So first you steal her Slim Jims and make her cry, and now you're locking her out of the house. Is that correct, sir?
Wait till she's 18.
Dad of the year. Dad of the year.
She's gonna have daddy issues.
She knows I love her.
She's gonna not trust someone that gets near to her Slim Jims or with locked doors. She's gonna be, no, I can't.
The funny thing is it's like a door with like a regular lock and like a deadbolt, and the whole time after it, he's just like, but I didn't lock the other one. I didn't lock the other one. This is so weird. Like it's like I only like halfway locked you guys out.
I'm just saying,
halfway locked you guys out.
I think it was an accident when I twisted the doorknob. I accidentally twisted the little doorknob lock.
No,
I don't think I just purposely
accidentally do it. You just did it. You did the same thing to us last year too.
That was a deadbolt. Like
it's probably just a habit of like locking your doors whenever you come in. And it's like,
100%. I'm a creature of habit. You put me out of my like habit zone, and like bad things happen. You know what I mean? Like I'm not used to opening the door, not locking it, or shutting
my
it.
Family's out back having fun, so let me lock him out.
let me lock you out of the house so you're safe.
So you're safe. I'm gonna be safe from the danger that's gonna come through the front door.
My wife and child.
Yeah, it's like also like 100 degrees outside.
Well, they got a pool.
Well,
That's
we were
true.
fine because we just got out of the pool. But
Yeah, y'all could have just gotten back in the pool until I noticed.
That's fine.
Anyways, back to the CWA thing, which we somehow we keep getting off track.
There was a time.
You muted Pong.
There was a time.
Sorry. I said for the fifth time.
A little less than a year ago, that he always forgets when he lets the fucking dogs out. And so we got home after going to the fucking movies, and the dogs, they always run up to us as soon as we open the door, and they didn't. And I'm like, where the hell's the dogs? I look at the fucking back door, and these poor fucking dogs have been out there for hours. So this is a thing with this guy, okay?
I have a little bit of a bad memory, okay? Just a little bit.
A bad memory.
Just a little bit. All right. So
sorry, moving on.
Okay. So the reason
the CW.
Yeah, the reason that this is important, I believe, is because it's back when I remember politicians were all trying to like raise hell about this whole thing and stuff. They were using like grandstanding and stuff. They're using labor and employment as like a big like talking point with this, and that's pretty much the only thing they were really discussing. And it went real silent after that. That only lasted like 2 weeks, and it was like dead silence after that. Then all we hear is a bunch of positive stuff coming from actual Microsoft side, being like, hey, things are moving along as fast as they can. We're going well. We expect that, no delays. Then we get confirmation of Microsoft actually going to recognize a union that was formed from Raven QA testers, if I believe that was correct, right? And that was like, wow, that's not really done in this type of business, right? Like these big corporations usually don't do that. And the fact that they did that, now that we got the next step in that, well, the CWA, the labor union that actually helped, I think, put that together with Raven and everything, actually submitted this letter of support to the FTC. So that is just one major like thing that they cannot even like use against whatsoever, I believe, anymore with this acquisition. So anything related to employment or anything, like they're getting ahead of the ball game on all this stuff. And I'm curious if this is going to potentially speed up the process at all. This letter of support. And it seems like the union wants this to happen, right?
Well, yeah.
So what if if a labor union wants this to happen, like what can they like really say now regarding employees and everything to try and say that this is not good for them? You know what I mean? Like, I don't think there's anything left.
With the union itself, of course they want that because they see this huge market with employees, because that's the thing, they pay into the union, so they're getting money from, so the union will get a steady flow of money from these employees to be in the union. So of course they're going to push this, you know, but then it gives employees the costs, the pay rate that they should be having across the board. So if you're, let's say, a tester, like what, because this is where it started from with Raven Software, if a tester, let's say, is $25 across the board, that's what they're going to make. And then other studios are going to be like, people that work are testers, they're like, hold on, they're getting 25, I'm getting 18. They're going to want to push it, and then you're going to see this big mess. So on that aspect, we could see it's a positive for both sides, with employees and with the union. Now with the government, how can they sit there and really fight this now? Like their whole thing was, you know, well, the fair equal rights for these employees, you're going to get them, and they're going to get you know, they'll possibly be fired or, you know, downsize and things like that. I mean, they were playing with these weird notions of what Microsoft was going to do with this acquisition, with at least with employees. But now with the talks of the labor union possibly coming through, they're seeing that oh well, Microsoft is favoring the employees. Maybe they're, you know, they're not trying to paint them in this negative picture as they're trying to with this, you know, fear mongering that they've been kind of doing in the very beginning with this announcement. So I don't see really they're gonna have to find a new way to come at Microsoft with this deal, and trying to find something to trying to slow down this process or not having, because I'm on the boat now. This is happening before the end of the year, and I don't know how soon. In a couple months, it could be November, it could be October. I just don't know how soon, but I am on the boat that we'll see this acquisition deal finally be done before the end of the year, because they said 2 months after the deal is finished, the union will go through, and then that's when it starts to when it'll be implemented within, I believe it's Raven Software that actually started this.
Yeah. So first off, shout out to John TJ again. Another $5 super chat says, "LOL, Mav, your wife took over the podcast." Hi, Caitlin. And then a $10 super chat again from John TJ says, "They need to go get all of WB next, and I mean all Xbox handles the gaming division, and they get money from the movies. Plus now they can't be stopped. They are the best workplace to work at." Yeah, just get everything. Let's go. You know, I know Pong's all down for all of WB. I am as well, like to get into that entertainment, you know, market as well with everything they got going on there. But as far as like the even back in June, so the June 16th, there was an article on Bloomberg, right? FTC is scrutinizing labor impact of Microsoft Activision merger, right? So the Federal Trade Commission was investigating Microsoft's Corp's proposed purchase of Activision Blizzard and how it might impact workers. Linda Kahn told lawmakers. She's the chair of the FTC. In a June 9th letter to Senator Elizabeth Warren, a Democrat from Massachusetts, Kahn confirmed the agency is looking into the proposed deal, noting that the companies previously disclosed the FTC's merger review. She said, I strongly believe that merger investigations must scrutinize the impact on labor markets. Whenever the FTC initiates a merger review, we are committed to thoroughly examining effects on competition in all relevant markets for potential law enforcement action. Kahn's letter was a response to a March 31st missive from Warren and other senators urging the FTC to closely examine how the proposed deal would impact workers at Activision. So pretty much Warren had reached out to her saying, hey, you need to like look at this. And then she was responding saying like, we are looking at it. We do with everything, right? So FTC to closely examine how the proposed deal would impact workers at Activision who have called for greater accountability at the company in the wake of sexual harassment and discrimination allegations. In her letter, Kahn said the FTC is also focusing on whether certain types of contracts, such as non-compete clauses that bar workers from switching jobs within an industry or non-disclosure agreements, violate antitrust or consumer protection laws. Then here we go. Last month, a majority of video game testers at Activision Raven Software unit voted to form a union, a first for a U.S. listed game company. The company said it would begin negotiations with the Communications Workers of America to reach a collective bargaining agreement, which that has now been succeeded, I believe. So Activision has been shrouded in controversy since last year after a state agency filed a sexual harassment lawsuit. Blah, 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 blah. We already have heard a lot about this already. And Microsoft announced a labor neutrality. On Monday, Microsoft announced a labor neutrality agreement with CWA, agreeing that the company will take a neutral approach if employees express interest in joining a union. This was that June news that we had heard about when they had said that they're going to welcome the union in. So now the latest news is they have CWA, which is the labor union, has actually sent a letter of support to the FTC. Pretty much, I just don't know, like, if that was the biggest hurdle for me that they kept talking about with the FTC, right? The FTC is like, oh, we got to look at this labor stuff. Senator Warren's like, well, you got to look at the labor stuff. You got to look at the labor stuff. You got to look at all this stuff. And if the biggest labor union in that industry is saying we support this, what can they say now, right? Anybody have any thoughts on that? Pong, I see you shaking your head.
Yeah, because this is the biggest deal. And hey, shout out to all the journalists yet again ignoring one of the biggest news stories of the week. I just don't know if people have. Again, I'm a nobody. Okay, I'm just an old gamer who sat around and played a lot of games and read a lot of news through my decades of playing games, right? But I don't understand why people don't pick up on these things after they get done complaining about labor issues, they complain about crunch, they complain about all this stuff, and here you have one of the biggest software companies, if not the biggest software company in the entire world, one of the biggest corporations overall in Microsoft, in an industry that is notorious for resisting unions, hating unions. We just got done writing stories about Activision, hiring union busting, attorneys and stuff when they started they started trying to do this over Activision. We had all these big stories. And here you have Microsoft underneath the microscope of the FTC and doing something that's unheard of for a company of this size that's for so long in the tech industry, software side of things, that has been against unions, agreeing to become a neutral party if their employees decide that they want to go ahead and form a union. This is monumental. This is a paradigm shift. I was in our DMs. I'm not alone here. I've heard already some other people talk about this on some other shows. So I know I'm not going crazy. I know I'm not reading the tea leaves like Fuzzy likes to do and reading them wrong. I was instantaneously in our DMs when this went down and saying that this paradigm shift is going to have ramifications down the road that we're not even seeing yet for the entire industry as a whole when Microsoft is willing to jump on board with something like this. And yes, it is to get this Activision Blizzard deal to go through. But they're allowing this to happen because Satya and the rest of the Microsoft board have had this major change from the top down in philosophies when it comes to their business and their $2 trillion company. They're looking at the future. They're looking at the crystal ball. And back in the day, had you told me 5 years ago that Microsoft as a corporation would take this stance in any deal, I would have laughed. If you would have been talking about Microsoft in the 90s and 80s, are you kidding me? Never would they have taken this stance. But whatever they're seeing in the future right now, and yes, the biggest portion of it is the Activision Blizzard deal. They are seeing some type of future where they understand that this is the new road. They went from being right now, or at the beginning of this acquisition, they went from being the main kind of target for the FTC. And yes, the FTC can change depending on what, who we have in office and all that kind of stuff. But right now, let's just take it as it stands right now. This FTC was going way out of bounds with what they were describing that they were going to look at this deal with. Microsoft knows they would win in court because the laws as written have nothing to do with the labor force. It has to do all with consumers. So even if they had to try to do this, Microsoft could have fought them in court. I said that from the beginning. This is a win situation. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. Microsoft could go to court and they're not going to win because the letter of the law has nothing to do with labor issues. But for Microsoft to back down, and again, this is not another reason why Satya from the beginning said, hey, we're not going to have to give in to anything when it comes to this. Well, no shit, Satya, because you guys plan to do all this anyways way ahead of time. You weren't going to have the FTC ask you to do anything because you're just going to give it all. Which is great. It's great for all the devs. It's great for all the workers. But again, what we have here is Microsoft breaking ground in a new way because of the size of the company to say that we're going to remain neutral, allow unions to happen if our workers want them to happen. This sends a message. They are now the friends of the FTC. They are now giving the government a blueprint for all big deals down the road. You know who's pissed off right now behind the scenes? Apple, Google, Amazon. All these companies that hate unions, that have resisted it internally. Look at what Amazon just went through with their whole union thing, right? They just went through this. And Microsoft is going, we're cool with them. Go ahead, form your union. We're good. Don't worry about it. We're not going to stand in your way.
From Microsoft's perspective, this is like small potatoes for them. Like it's as far as like how this deal impacts the greater scheme of things for their end game goals. Like it's like a small concession to make, and it's like it doesn't really hurt anybody. It may cost Microsoft a little bit of money, you know what I mean? But like,
I'm sure and I'm sure the shareholders, some of them still hold the old feelings towards unions. But the reality is where we are, again, that's a separate debate for a different time in society, that unions are popular again, and unionization is going to start happening across different industries. Again, Amazon just went through this. So Microsoft sees that and says, this is not the battle we want to fight. This isn't worth it. This is where society's headed. So, okay, we're just going to say, hey, guess what? We're going to step back, allow this to happen, but we want our deal done. So FTC, here you go. And then you have us as a perfect example for all these other major corporations in this tech industry that may come along and say, hey, we've got this massive $1 billion deal that we need to get through. The FTC can look at them and say, well, guess what? Our buddies over at Microsoft willingly did all this, so you're going to be expected to do the same type of deals if you are against unions or whatever the case may be. We're going to look at your labor situation, and we're going to expect you guys to be just as willing to give in as Microsoft was, or let's go to court. And again, at the end of the day, the way the law is written, and again, I'm not anybody, but you can go listen to people like Hogue Law who understand this a lot better than me. He's done so many videos on this. The clearly states that this is about consumers and not about labor. So companies could win, but they would look like the bad guys, just like Amazon just did with their union stuff. They look like the bad guys, and these $1 trillion companies, these $1 billion companies don't want to look like the bad guys anymore, because what happens? Social media comes down on them. So this is huge. This is gigantic, and I can't believe articles are being written about this praising Microsoft.
Right.
But again, that
Well-
goes back to what we've talked about, right?
Yeah.
So this is going to help this deal go through, Mav. At the end of the day, this was a major step. Yes, the EU is a different beast, and we're still waiting to hear from that side of things. Generally speaking, they will follow along with the FTC, but they are a little bit more rigorous than even what we have over here. But I expect now, again, with the CWA coming on board and saying, hey, we're cool, let this go through. It's going to be good for
which
the
was
workers.
actually a flip of their position as well, right?
Right.
So
right. Exactly.
and it's interesting to hear what you're talking about with like the big, I'm having to read this from a Hollywood Reporter. Bloomberg
Right.
didn't write this.
Right.
Bloomberg wrote the other one that I just wrote about the
Where's
troubles,
Jason?
right?
Where's Jason? He talks about this stuff all the time.
yeah.
Where is he writing this big, glorious, this nice piece about Microsoft and how it's a different company now because never back in the day would they have agreed to this union.
But
Where is that piece, Jason?
It doesn't fit my agenda.
Exactly.
Right.
So
Microsoft is the bad people and PlayStation is the best.
after we're going to read some of this from the Hollywood Reporter, which is where shout out to Benji Sales, who had actually tweeted this out and helped bring it to our attention because we saw that. Again, Hollywood Reporter writing this, not Bloomberg. After reaching a labor neutrality agreement with Microsoft earlier in June, the Communications Workers of America has sent a letter to the Federal Trade Commission supporting the tech giant's $68.7 billion acquisition of Call of Duty maker Activision Blizzard. The president of the labor union, which in late May successfully established Activision Blizzard's first certified union at subsidiary Raven Software, sent a letter to FTC leaders, including Chair Linda Khan, who I had just referenced in that other article written by Bloomberg on Thursday, where he stated, "We now support approval of the transaction before you because Microsoft has entered an agreement with CWA to ensure the workers of Activision Blizzard have a clear path to collective bargaining." CWA President Chris Shelton added, "Microsoft's binding commitments will give employees a seat at the table and ensure that the acquisition of Activision Blizzard benefits the company's workers and the broader video game labor market," which is huge language there because it's also good for the industry is what they're saying. The CWA and Microsoft announced the labor neutrality agreement, which will go into effect 60 days after the tech company's proposed Activision Blizzard deal closes. If the deal closes in June, according to the CWA, the contract entails Microsoft's remaining neutral when employees that fall under the terms of the agreement voice their interest in forming a union. Which also could be in the future effect. This has future effects on the company as well, because if they say we want to form a union, they have to acknowledge that, right? Moreover, the agreement pledges employees will be able to easily exercise their right to communicate with other employees and union representatives about union membership without impeding day-to-day business, will have a streamlined process for deciding on joining a union, and can keep their decisions about a union confidential. Labor neutrality agreements often entail an employer and a union agreeing to a card check system to recognize a union and avoid a National Labor Relations Board election. Finally, the union and the company agreed to work together promptly to reach an agreement if a conflict arises and seek a fast arbitration process if differences cannot be resolved. Shelton said in May that as a result of the agreement, we support the acquisition's approval and look forward to working collaboratively with Microsoft after this deal closes, which represented a change in position for the union. Previously, the union had joined a group of organizations raising concerns about the mega deal to the FTC, saying the transaction may lead to an undue concentration of market power when viewed as a vertical or horizontal merger, threaten data privacy and security, undermine consumer protection online, impinge on the consumer right to repair, and exacerbate worker disempowerment and wage suppression. The union's dealings with Activision Blizzard, moreover, have been contentious, with the union filing several unfair labor practice charges against the company, with the NLRB and Activision Blizzard throwing up potential roadblocks to the Raven Software election before it took place. It says Microsoft signaled a seemingly softer approach to unions in a June blog post that, while vague, sketched out some principles for dealing with unions and organizing. The post included a statement that Microsoft is committed to creative and collaborative approaches with unions when employees wish to exercise their rights, and Microsoft is presented with a specific unionization proposal. In June, Microsoft President and Vice Chair Brad Smith said that the Activision Blizzard acquisition is our first opportunity to put these principles into practice. And FTC Chair Linda Khan has been vocal about her interest in considering potential impact on workers, and the agency reviews and investigates mergers. On June 16th, Khan noted in a letter to Senator Elizabeth Warren, which I just addressed in that other article, that the FTC is investigating Microsoft's proposed acquisition of Activision Blizzard. Well, this now seems like it is checkmate as far as the biggest labor union, again, in the group that was raising questions about this, is saying we're fully on board and we look forward to working them in the future. Basically saying this is better for the employees and for the entire labor market in this industry if this deal goes through. So that is a huge win for Microsoft. It's a huge win for Activision Blizzard. It's a huge win for this deal. I don't know, dude. Is this going to speed it up, guys? I mean, what's the timeline?
Yes.
Maybe, but also you have to think like summer right now is the perfect time for this stuff to start going along, because then politicians later in the fall are going to have all their elections they focus on more, and then the holidays come up, so people just kind of stop working as much, and government's slow as shit anyway. So it's like, I don't know if it's going to speed it up. Like, it's still going to take a long time.
Yeah, how much can they go around and talk about the same aspect when it's like they have like the biggest opponent originally now on board now, right? They'd be like talking, it'd be like making an argument. Okay, so like my daughter and everybody's like, hey, no, this would be really good for us because like I get to like earn more money or like whatever. Let's say I own a fucking Dairy Queen, okay? And they're all like, hey, yeah, this is great. This is like, we're going to make more money, everybody, blah, blah, blah. And then we're like, no, I don't think so. You know what I mean? I think this is going to be bad for you, you know, like, but like, everybody's like, no, this is great. Like, we need to do this. Like 10,000 employees, right? The union that's on top of all of them or whatever. Everybody's saying, no, this is great. And I'm like, I don't know. You know, I think this is not going to be so good. Potentially, we're going to vote on it and we might say no, you know, like what the fuck? Everybody that you're like supposed to be representing, right? Everybody that you're supposed to be looking out for with this is saying, do the deal, right? How long can you drag that on and just not pass it through? I don't know. I feel like it will still drag on a little bit just because of like government is just.
Yeah, I mean, it'll get done when the government's ready for it to get done. It's like where it's at.
I think it'll go through in the FTC faster than we'll be waiting with the EU. That is the bigger hurdle out of the group, I believe. So we'll see that take the longest time. I think the FTC will finish a lot faster than people really think, because they're really, if they try to go at them for something small, they're gonna be you guys are literally are not picking on them, but you're just finding things to find wrong about this deal, and you know then it's gonna be like a one-sided like anything in the future they're gonna be looked at as, well, last time, you know.
Well, that's kind of their job though, is to look at shit though.
Yeah, but if it's like things that are really
not arbitrarily though, you know what I mean? Like, so yeah,
Correct.
It's their job, but it's not their job for the sake of just saying you did something. Like at some point,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, at some point when everything checks out, it's like, okay, well, there's nothing really to look for anymore. Like, because basically their hurdles, like, because you got to look at this from a legal perspective as well, right? Like, okay, if they were to say no, they're gonna face they're gonna face legal challenges and stuff. And if you have the biggest labor union on board with this, you have no fucking like case. You know what I mean? You have no case. Like they
don't
cannot,
anyways. According to law.
They don't anyway, right?
Exactly.
But this is another check mark that Microsoft can bring to the table. Say, look, even the fucking labor union, the biggest one in this industry, is saying it's good for the entire industry and all the employees that would be brought on board. So like, why are they saying no? Do they think they know better than the people themselves?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like,
spending $70 billion, you got to make sure that shit goes through right. That's
No, but basically Microsoft has kind of eliminated all the obstacles that would have been before them anyway. So I think
100%. Yeah.
it's harder for the FTC to find something. Like, they can nitpick all they want, but it's going to be really hard. And considering that, like what Pong was saying, they don't have the law on their side as far as how it's written currently. So they didn't get that bill passed. They don't have the people that they were supposedly protecting or claimed that they were protecting or had in their best interest have already said this is in our best interest. So there really isn't anything else that they have to stand on at this point. I think the bigger thing, kind of like what Pong had hinted to, it's like people like or companies like Apple and Amazon are going to definitely hate this, because essentially Microsoft is dictating the rules going forward in their space of competition when it comes to like streaming service and gaming and things along those lines. Because all along they pointed at Google and Amazon and Apple as their competition. Well, now if those guys are really set to really step their big toe into this industry, they're going to have to acquire somebody like EA. Well, if they do that, now they have all these other things like Pong was saying, they got the blueprint. They're going to have to follow those same things begrudgingly to even be able to get the deal to the table without the FTC really becoming a hindrance, let's say. So
yeah,
I think my view has always been that this was going to be like a late August, early September. I think it may take a little bit longer than that, but there really isn't much more other than they don't have anything to counter this, so they have to sign off on it. It really comes down to the powers that be at Activision and at Microsoft sitting down, having their lawyers go over the merging stuff and the acquisition stuff, and then making sure that all the shareholders get taken care of and make sure that there's no loose ends at the end and get that thing signed. But
yeah,
I think it's definitely before the end of the year at this point.
And the big thing too, Fuzzy, to your point there, is they're not even actually really signing off on anything.
Mm-hmm.
The FTC doesn't approve anything. They just say, hey, we're not going to block this because it's an open-ended deal. They can come back 5 years from now and say, whoa, this is not what you guys agreed to. We're taking you in, right? And they can go back. So again, at the end of the day, it's not even like finalizing a deal with the FTC. It's just the FTC finally has enough information where they say, we're not going to block this deal. And that's the end of it. And then it moves forward and it processes. So that makes it even easier at the end of the day. I definitely see a potential, again, without anything coming up in the EU or a couple of the other places that they do have to get approval from. End of the year makes a lot of sense. It is a gigantic deal. So don't get me wrong. It's the biggest in Microsoft history.
Yeah.
Not just Microsoft history. So this is one of the biggest deals ever in the tech space overall. So it might take longer just based on that from a pure paperwork standpoint with the amount of employees and all that kind of stuff. It may take longer than the end of the year, but I think end of the year is what they're pushing for sure.
Yeah,
So,
I think Microsoft wants it to be done. They've been trying to.
Hell yeah.
They've been trying to check every box possible that they could stand in the way of dragging this out, and also legally as well. Like if anything that could potentially be roadblocks in the future or anything used against them, like with this deal, they know how big this is for the industry as well.
Well, they're also just burning money right now, waiting on this shit to go through.
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
and
exactly.
like Alvin said too. At what point there comes a time and point where even if the FTC is purposely dragging their feet, then they're postponing the benefits to the people that they claim they are protecting. At this point, because they know that the faster this goes through, the quicker that CoTick is out of there, the quicker that Microsoft starts transitioning those employees and starts changing the culture over there. That's just all good for the workers. Yeah. So at what point where the FTC start looking like the bad guys, like, what are you guys doing?
If I was like a Blizzard employee or something right now, I would be like, come on, like let's this deal get passed finally. Like that's just me speaking from my perspective. I don't know where they stand 100%, but it seems like their labor union for at least Ravens is 100% on board with this. So
because 3-Bit's friends with a couple of those guys, and he's stated that these guys are like waiting for this to get through and be over with so they can finally get and work on projects that they want to work on.
Yeah. Shout out to John TJ with another $2 super chat. He says, I say the deal is done in September.
That would be nice.
That would be nice. Who knows, man?
Fantastic.
That would be
time
crazy.
for the holidays.
influx about another 50 to 100 games into Game Pass. Woo!
Yeah.
That would be pretty.
Splendiferous with a $2 super chat had said, "My best friend 3-Bit is here. How are you, you marvelous guy?" 3-Bit is in the chat, not on the show today, recovering from surgery today or yesterday. But shout out to 3-Bit, dude. We miss you. Hope you're feeling okay. I feel like I can't, every month something gets released or some kind of news comes out where I just can't fathom this deal not being approved, right? And I feel like the FTC knows that. I feel like everybody else knows that. So at what point is it just like just looking at shit just to look at shit and just saying like, I'm doing my job, I gotta do it, you know? So I'm just doing it.
It's well, like Pong Soul said, it's like, why are these journalists not speaking up about this at all? Like, so any positive news that Xbox is doing, it's like nothing is being talked about. Why is that? Why is Jason Schreier the biggest advocate about crunch and all these things that, you know, and he's not even, you don't see a tweet, you don't see an article, you don't see anything from this guy. You don't see anything from IGN, GameSpot, any journalist in the media. You don't see them speaking up on the positive things that, especially with the labor unions going through, because they're part of the labor union, so they know how good this is, and they're not even talking about it. But
no, it's clear. It's because it's Microsoft related. Like for Jason Schreier not to be saying, "Oh, I wonder if Sony Santa Monica is crunching to get God of War here before the end of the year," like he's probably heard firsthand. No word on it, but yet they talk about Bethesda with their aspect of crunch and so forth. So of course this kind of gets ignored because this would be a positive spotlight on something that doesn't get them as many clicks, or for the advertising dollars.
Get you clicks. You got to make it controversial.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Like rescuing the kitten from the tree. Yeah, nobody cares. But you knock the kitten out of the tree with a baseball bat. Oh yeah, you're going to be front page. So that's essentially what.
And then you'd have half the viewers. He had every right to knock that kitten out of that tree. I signed with the man that hit the.
It was my tree. It was on my property. It's not my cat. Fuck that cat.
That cat was being a dick.
But that
we don't know what that cat was doing before he got on that tree. Yeah, he could have been doing something bad. Who knows?
Dealing drugs in my tree.
Yeah, no, but that's the way I guess the news cycle, or at least for gaming news at this point in time, is going to rotate. But after the powers shift, when a certain brand is the majority, then maybe their reporting will change. But I'm not holding my breath on that one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. Like Xbox has always had like all the media is pretty much stacked against it for the most part, except for a few, and it seems like this is just another one of those situations where remember even right after the announcement came through, you had Jason Schreier himself be like, if I was blah blah blah, I'd be sending letters to the FTC right now in the Department of Justice. This is ridiculous. And it's like, you're a fucking journalist with Bloomberg. Why are you even commenting on that? Saying how this, like, it just doesn't make any sense. You just be covering it from your perspective about this, and you're immediately right away the bias was 100% shown that certain outlets, certain people, journalists in the industry do not want this deal to go through, right? For whatever reason, because they don't like Game Pass, they don't like the whole way that Microsoft is kind of using their money and everything to acquire different publishers, like everybody else is right now as well. It's not just Microsoft, right? But they're able to.
They don't like capitalism.
They're able to utilize it to give people a good deal. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, that's fucking horrible. Like we're so screwed as consumers when we get to save money on things. I'm sorry, it's like it's so bad. I don't understand it.
He had the gall to call a mergers and acquisitions attorney in Hogue a YouTube pundit. Okay, this guy there's no line he won't cross. So again, Jason just again, he does what he does, but his biases are well known and it's obvious. Again, there's no reason why you write all these articles. And then when that company that you were writing all these articles that you were worried about doing the wrong thing starts to do the right thing and you don't write that side of it, look, again, you don't even have to come out and try to defend yourself. You've shown your true colors.
Yeah.
So just be on your
Own
way.
it.
Just be who you are. Yes, own it 100%. Because there's no reason why, like Psycho said, that there's not articles being written right now. How great this is! What a monumental move for a company the size of Microsoft to agree to something like this. Even if the back of your skull, you think it's all because they just want this acquisition to go through. The fact that they even cracked that door open on unions for themselves, which means that Microsoft, as one of the biggest companies in the world, it means that they've cracked the door open for everybody else in this industry. Again, an industry that has been resistant, an industry that you guys have complained about. The devs get the short end of the stick all the time. The fact that you won't even mention in articles or be writing multiple articles about how great this is for the industry as a whole, that Microsoft has decided to take this stance, even if it is to get the deal to go through, they're going to honor this. That means other companies are going to have to look at this and go, oh, shit. Well, we really don't have a leg to stand on if Microsoft is willing to go this route. Like, they're going to be the bad guys if they try to fight against their own unions. Again, the journalists should be writing and praising this move no matter what at the end of the day, saying at least, even if I'm against the deal, even if I'm against this.
Companies own journalists like news sites, like Amazon owns the Washington Post or whatever.
Right.
Jeff
Yeah,
Bezos
absolutely.
does, so.
Jeff Bezos did that on purpose so he could have good articles written about Amazon. Yeah, that's what billionaires do. But again, they should be, even if at the end of the day they're still against this deal, they should be writing that there's something good coming out of it for these poor devs who they constantly write articles about that get the short end of the stick. They should be praising that aspect of it no matter what at the end of the day. But they don't. So there we are.
Yeah. Except for Hollywood Reporter, I guess. Shout out to them.
Yeah, Hollywood Reporter out of all places, right?
Right.
Next up, we're gonna have TMZ talking about how great Game Pass
writing
is.
about
Right?
Amber Heard. Today, Amber Heard turds, and next day, CWA wants to support the Activision Blizzard deal. Like, it's, man, I mean, come on. You know, I don't know what happened to journalism in general the last, like, 15, 20 years, you know, but, like,
It's long gone.
fucking games media has, like, flew the coop too, right? Where it's
who can get the fucking games early and be. That's the whole thing with the whole fucking Sony. That's why they don't want to fucking be blacklisted with Sony, because they get the games early so they can review them, and then if they talk bad or do anything, that should go away. Well, guess what, Sony? You're not the fucking big bag fucking company that used to be anymore. And, you know, and it's sad that these journalists are still acting this way in 2022. It's insane.
Yeah.
Just insane.
Well, I think a lot of the game journalists are also just like failed people that wanted to be like political journalists and not necessarily video game journalists. So they're like, well, fuck, I got to write about stupid video games now when I wanted to write about fucking politics.
And it's like a dream when a games topic crosses over into politics in a little bit of a way, right? Ooh, I get to sound serious for a little bit instead of talking about how much I want Crash Bandicoot to come back. Like,
yeah, that worked out great for Kotaku, didn't it? Jesus.
Yeah.
That whole fucking website.
I have, like, I used to go to that, like, website every day when I was younger, you know, and now I have them blocked on Twitter.
Yep.
It's so stupid, man. I don't understand, like, what's happened, dude. It's like ridiculous. And you can see, like, somebody posted, I forget who it was, but they posted on Twitter, like, different headlines by the same author on one of these news journalist websites. I think it was Forbes, right? And it was all like, Xbox is in trouble, and then, like, the next article, PlayStation's in trouble, and then, like, the next article, Xbox is in trouble again. Or, like, it's like, what the fuck are you guys even doing? You know what I mean? It's like, there's so much stuff out there, like all these games to talk about, like, and the only thing they pick on is when something negative is going on, right? And it breeds this culture of negativity among social media and Twitter and all these things as well, because that's what all the talking points become, because that's what all the journalists are writing about, right? And it just sucks. I would love for there to be like more talk about a lot of the good things going on with the industry. However, we do have to talk about 343. So, regarding that, I do want to transition this into some information, because we did get some updates on campaign co-op, everybody.
Woo!
New achievements too.
Yeah, new achievements. So I think, Jasper, you probably read this information like 10 times, right? You got it ingrained in your brain a little bit.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So can you break down some of what the most relevant info is from the campaign co-op and mission replayability news we got from 343?
So the campaign co-op, how it's going to work is they said that you're going to have a tether. It's going to be a tether system. I'm not sure if it's going to be tethered to the host or if every player's tethered. I don't know how confusing that's going to get when you have like 4-player co-op.
Host,
but for right now,
probably
it's
host.
Probably host. For right now, it's 1,000 meters. You will just instantly die if you go beyond that from the host player. It seems like, or 800 meters is going to give you a warning on screen saying, "Hey, you're getting too far away. Don't get too far away from the host." Which 1,000 meters is actually a pretty sizable distance. So, not sure how that's going to work when you get 4 players. Like if it is tied to the host, then you can have maybe like a 2,000 meter radius. But if it's everyone, then it's going to get kind of small.
At first I saw that and I was like, I don't know if I like that. You know what I mean? But thinking of it and seeing it, somebody posted on Twitter like an actual like screenshot of what that looks like in game. And I'm like, when I'm playing co-op, I'm always going to be around my friends. I'm not going to be like off doing my own fucking thing, like wanking it in a corner on the other side of the map. You know, like I think we'll probably be together, you know? So at the most part, I don't know if that's going to be a huge deal.
Yeah.
No, you're not going to be halfway across the map while everyone's trying to go for a base. We're all going.
I mean, I'll be halfway across the map waiting on you. But
well, listen here, you speedrun motherfucker.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's just no. It's like, here we go with the usual 343. Need better management and blah blah blah. Hey, we didn't say that. You're assuming things. You're assuming things, Shizno. They do, but you're assuming what we're going to talk about. We're talking about campaign co-op and also
it drops on July 11th is when the testing or starts, or however they're going to do it. I'm not sure if it's going to be inside Xbox program or whatever. How they usually do it. We'll see.
Inside flight or something.
Yeah, I'm excited for the new achievements. I get to actually grind for something on that game again. That's kind of what I'm excited about. It's fun to play in co-op. I've been wanting to go back through the campaign. So
how many achievement points did they add?
They haven't added them yet. Right now,
will they be added?
They haven't said. They just said we're adding new achievements.
Okay. So and the mission replayability is
just be able to select the mission from the main menu, from what I understand.
Right. The main like story missions, or did they go into
instead of having to run through the open world, you just pick like mission 1, mission 2, mission 3.
Okay. Well, I'm sure you're happy about that. You can speed run those, you know.
I don't want to fucking run through the open world.
Yeah. And there was also information about Spartan cores and stuff like that, how they're going to operate. Did you get to see kind of how that information is?
I didn't pay attention to that. I was just more interested in the co-op stuff. So,
because that's one thing I've been curious about is 100% like how are they going to be doing that? Because you're in somebody else's game. Like if you collect them, do you bring them over to yours? You know what I mean?
They said everything, like at least campaign and story wise, all your progress will be carried over to your game. So
okay, right on.
Nice.
Yeah. So we're getting that. We're also getting the campaign co-op. We're getting the mission replayability. It seems like it's implemented in a pretty good way, right? I don't think the tethering thing is going to be a huge deal. We're getting insider access to this via a flight this month. What did they say? When exactly? What day that is?
Just I think July 11th is what they said.
July 11th. And so if you're signed up on Halo Waypoint, you might get access to that, guys. So check and see if you're signed up for their flight accesses on Halo Waypoint. And then also there was some information, some possible leaks that came out about Forge mode.
Yep, that's been slowly dropping over the months. The one that came out today was you're going to be able to resize objects. So like a warthog, you can make it like as tiny as like a little goat cart or as big as like a monster truck, something like that. So resizing objects.
Yeah.
Well, they had Master Chief and they resized them like almost as big as the spire on Behemoth, which was insane.
Yeah. And there's the one that came out last week with the Forge leaks is you're going to be able to change the way the guns shoot. So like you can make a machine gun shoot tank rounds or a rocket shoot plasma pistol rounds. You're going to be able to edit that stuff too in Forge.
I think this Forge is going to be a massive deal. I mean, from everything that's been leaked and teased about this Forge, it seems like it's going to be way beyond anything we've ever gotten from Halo. And that's going to be a massive game changer. I think obviously like we've had to wait, you know what I mean? Longer than a lot of us anticipated, having to wait for Forge and campaign co-op and stuff like that. But after this is out by the end of this year, right? We should have Forge in testing. And then also we should have campaign co-op and we have mission replayability. Season 3 will be coming around the corner then.
In November.
And this is going to be a different animal, I think, for Halo Infinite. I think it's finally the chance for them to finally be like, okay, look, like this is everything that maybe should have been there at launch, but we're late, a year, but here it is. And we got Forge, we got campaign co-op, we got mission replayability. We got more seasonal content. I'm hoping to add a couple more, at least 3 maps this time.
There was some negative news that came out of this too, though. They said that they pulled a team off of netcode to work on like content, which kind of sucks because the melee.
You talking about the melee desyncing and stuff?
The melee desync has been shit in this game, and it frustrates me when I play. Like it's just like people punch you around a corner. Yeah. It doesn't make sense. Yeah. They need to get their netcode fixed.
Eventually, right? Eventually. I think they probably. I mean, to be honest with you, they have so much that we're behind on. You know what I mean? Yeah. That I feel like I understand what they're saying with that. It can be frustrating when we're like playing a game that some would say is broken because of certain aspects like that. But ultimately, like the game plays really well for the most part. It's frustrating when those things happen, and when there's so much stuff that they should have had at launch, and they're trying to get out before this end of this year and stuff. I think it makes sense, and I'm excited for this to be the Halo Infinite that we all wanted. Right.
I still think we're about a year out, though.
A year out?
Yeah.
You don't think this November things change for Halo Infinite?
No. We won't have enough content by then to make it a difference.
But what about Forge? Forge alone is going to have so much potential, right? That once that Forge
it will,
mode
but
hits,
the way they implement it, I guarantee you it's not going to be. You're only going to be able to search for like people that you play with or something. You're not going to be able to like.
You don't think it'll be like server browsers?
They're not going to put Forge maps and stuff in there yet. It's going to be a while.
You think so?
Yeah. Whoever makes the map is the one that gets to play it.
No, they got to do better than that. Oh my god, if that's the case, dude, that's gonna be interesting. You mean like custom games, right? What if you host a custom game server?
You'll be able to do custom games, but I'm just saying it won't be like it's accessible to just random people. Like you have to know somebody that has a map that they made or something like that, probably.
Yeah.
Have like a share code, kind of like what they do in Forza would be fine. I think
it's almost like somebody that works for Microsoft that might know somebody that works for 343 that possibly is on our podcast every once in a while. He might know some people,
right? So one thing too, like the aspect of playing is all Master Chiefs, right? In the campaign co-op, right? I saw people talking in the chat about that. Like
that's how Halo 4 was. That's how. I mean, Halo.
I get it.
One was
right. I get it. There wasn't like a squad. You're playing as a squad in this. You didn't have a bunch of AI teammates and stuff like that. But like, I would love to take my online multiplayer Spartan in there. As a compadre of the chief or whatever. Like,
that was a cool thing to do with Reach. So the way you made your Reach character, it transferred to campaign.
Right. Yeah, it would have been cool because you can see your friends and your teammates when you're playing, so it would have been a way to show off, like your stuff.
Yeah.
And everything.
But I see why they
do. You want co-op or do you not? That's kind of weird.
I get it. I'll just take anything at this point. Fuck, it's like make a 5-foot tether cable. I'll be running side by side. Let's go.
Even if they just render the colors, like blue or different colors for the characters, then that might be fine, so you can know which character is who on the map, so instead of like 4 green Master Chiefs when you're playing co-op, so I think they didn't count that out. I definitely, but I see why they didn't go with the multiplayer skins, because they're trying to get co-op out right now, and maybe down the road they'll give that as an update.
Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully so. I mean, that's one thing about this game is it's never going to end with the content. You know, it's slow coming right now.
I mean, we just got a new backpack for Halo 3, so
right. Exactly. It's just we're going to get stuff on this for years and years and years. You know what I mean? So like I've been adamant from the start that this game's going to be fine. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of like, you know, doomsday scenarios. Season 2 announcement was incredibly frustrating for me, right? When they announced the 6-month thing, especially with that amount of content that they had for it. And that's why I was like, okay, maybe they should have delayed, you know, like I kind of reverse course on that. If you can't get within a year more content than that, you know, to your game, then there was some issues, you know. But I do think a lot of it is because they are playing catch up right now on Forge and campaign co-op. Once those things are out, a lot of those teams may be freed up to do more content for the actual multiplayer and stuff. You know what I mean? So it'll be interesting to see, but like Forge, I still think is going to have a huge impact. Because of I mean, if you think about all the stuff that we have tools to utilize in Halo Infinite, the grapple shot, you know, like all the weapons that have these cool abilities and stuff, and all the other abilities that are within the game, and you can do resizing and all this kind of stuff. That'd be like, I could just imagine the utter chaos that could happen from custom games.
Just like making people really small or something and like make them super fast.
Could you imagine doing super small with snipers?
Oh my god.
Yeah, dude. Let's go. You know,
or you could like back
shorty
in the day in
snipers.
Halo 3, like people would build like fun maps and game modes. Like I'm just imagining like make someone really small, make like hide and seek, or like make a dude really big like Godzilla or something.
That's like, what I was thinking about, Jasper. like a brute like King Kong size, and have a fight. Like have a bunch of normal sized dudes and have
health.
Give him a ton of health. Yes, that would be so much fun. That's what I was thinking about when I first saw that. I was like, damn, you could do a lot with this. But that's what we talked about, right, man? We talked about this last year. Remember those leaks we had about the Forge mode going to a whole nother level? And remember that? It seems like all those leaks were spot on. And that's why we talked about that Forge was so important, because even if 343 can't put out content, if you have the hardcore fan base in there and those Forge experts working with this new Forge that is suddenly giving them so much more ability, the community is going to create a bunch of content for you to fill all of these holes, right? To make
if it's like trial
Halo interesting again.
Games.
Yeah, fill all those holes.
So fill all those holes. Correct.
I think that.
Why is everything sexual? I don't understand.
I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So, you know, regarding filling holes, I think that a lot of these devs, the insiders, the testers that they've been working with on Forge, which we know they have, because like that's where a lot of these leaks have come from. But people have said, they're working with these creators. You know, I have a feeling when Forge hits, there's going to be I think there is going to be a dumping of maps that were created within Forge by those creators. They'd be foolish not to utilize these things that these people have probably been making for months at this point. They've done that
in Halo 5.
I've done it in every Halo since Forge has been in existence. And in fact, my biggest criticism of 5 multiplayer at launch was like half the maps were Forge maps, and it was like, where's the real maps? You know what I mean? But now I'm like, okay, we got a good amount of decent, really good maps, and I think they're going to be coming out with even more and more every season. But now I want those Forge creations, especially if Forge mode is that next level. Right, where we actually have textures on the objects,
like Lego blocks put together on a map.
Right, yeah. So it doesn't look like just shiny blank walls everywhere. Yeah, I want to see that. I want to see actual textures on things. You know what I mean? I think it would be great. Shout out to John TJ again. Hit us with a couple more super chats, dude. Been crazy tonight, bro. A $5 super chat says 343 needs to only do story, and Certain Affinity needs to do multiplayer. Certain Affinity has got their hands in a lot of different pots right now. So a lot of it Halo related, and especially if you've seen the new mural in their hallways, They are definitely committed to doing lots of Halo content right now, but also they have other projects in the works. So I don't think Certain Affinity is going to be solely responsible in any kind of way for multiplayer. 343's got to get off of the campaign co-op and Forge aspects as much as they're working on it right now to be able to divvy out the content for the multiplayer. And don't forget, like, the 343 had a lot to do with how good the gameplay is in actual Halo Infinite. Also,
did that Certain Affinity mural kind of signal that basically they're Microsoft Xbox?
To me,
like
it
now,
does.
like,
you know, I mean, you're
yeah.
putting fucking Microsoft IP on the wall. You know,
right?
I've said for a while, Pong. That's the next announcement to get made
Oh, yeah.
acquisition wise.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
We've
Like,
talked about that. Yeah,
like it
Yeah,
just makes
it
too
makes
much
so
sense.
much sense,
At the
especially
same
since
time,
they also
they were-
supported Call of Duty as well.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and that's going to be now an Xbox IP
Yep.
on top of it.
The
At
piece
the
is
same
fit,
time, though,
folks.
they were just putting stuff
Yeah.
that they've worked on the wall, though.
Yes, they were.
Okay.
They
Yeah,
were.
yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
it was a
Debbie
Halo 4
Downer.
Spartan.
That's good.
It was a Halo 4 Spartan. It wasn't a Halo Infinite Spartan.
Actually,
guys, if you
Jasper.
look closer, it was a Halo 4
Here's the
Spartan,
Debbie
and they were
Downer.
heavy on support, and they developed a lot of the Halo 4 Spartan things.
You sound like Schreier.
I'm just
You
saying.
sound like Schreier
I'm just
right
saying.
now, Jasper.
Like, if there's any other team out there that is more organic than that, I have no idea, and it makes total sense. Again, with Call of Duty and Halo, like, why would you not bring Certain Affinity on board? Plus, they're making this Monster Hunter game for you as well.
I would
Come
go
on.
as far as to say they need them.
Yeah, they need support
They
studios.
need,
for sure.
them. I mean, they're like a big time multiplayer. Studio, right? I think, and they're also working on Buena Suerte, whatever that is, a Monster Hunter clone
Monster
game that's
Hunter.
supposed to be published by Microsoft. So I wouldn't surprise me if that's already a done deal. Max Holberman ties with Bungie's back in the day. Could you imagine if he comes in and they actually like have him more involved with 343? That could be a good thing in my personal opinion. Kind of. What if you saw a future where Joe Staten and Max Holberman kind of oversee both of those studios?
I was just
right?
gonna say those two running that studio would be kind of fantastic. Yeah.
Again, shout out to John TJ with another $5 super chat. It says Forge is my favorite thing. I create infection maps and racetracks and others. Yeah, I think I remember we played on one of your maps, John TJ, if I remember right. Another John TJ
Yeah, we
$5 super chat. Appreciate you, sir. He says, I once created the famous battleship, the Arizona, life size, and it was a cool map. Right on. I will still stand by this. My favorite map editor is Far Cry. Far Cry, Instincts, Predator, Far Cry 2. Those fucking map editors were the best. And Halo's map editor will never be as good until they allow me terrain deformation and allow me to create the actual world, not just put objects on it. Right. Far Cry's, man, it's so overlooked back in the day. I wish it was still a big part of their games, but it's not.
And Aces 352, I agree. I think Redfall, the more we see of it, the more ready it is. I think that's early come
Yeah, there was another
2023.
trailer for that.
Yeah,
right?
I think we're talking January, February 2023. I think certainly that.
So
comes
what do you
out.
think? March, maybe April for Starfield, or maybe later?
Yeah, maybe later, but I think I still am hoping for that March date. So obviously for all my own personal reasons, but I wouldn't doubt it. It's going to be ready when it's ready. They're not going to push that team. So until that game is polished to the point where it's the best Bethesda title they've had, I think Phil's going to give them all the time in the world to get that thing done. So I could see it. I could see it late fall or late spring. I mean, for
Right
sure.
on.
But yeah, I think Redfall is going to be early. I think we get that one of the first games out of the gate.
But that would be a
2023.
nice summer game, though.
What, Redfall?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be, but it'd also be a nice. It'd be a nice,
January
really
game,
nice game to
nice
have come
February
out
game, March
right
game, April
in
game.
2023 as well, where nothing else is coming out.
Right.
So,
So babe, does anything from the Halo co-op and information stuff excite you at all?
Not really.
You're not into
I mean,
the
I'll play it.
campaign?
I'll play it with you, but
I
She's
remember.
gonna play Fall Guys.
I remember distinctly us almost having an argument on the show because you were like, "Yeah, I'm not playing Halo Infinite until campaign co-op comes out."
yeah, and then I don't really care.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Honestly.
you all were supposed to run through the campaigns, and you never did that. You did the first
Yeah,
one. and
I
kinda
just
stopped.
honestly lost interest. Like I'm just not like a campaign
Right.
person.
So you agree with EA that with their tweet is a 10 but they only like single player games. That was a facepalm moment. Did y'all see Vince Sampella's response to that?
No,
I didn't see Vince. I saw a
Vince's.
couple of the other devs go
Yeah.
having an existential crisis that my own company doesn't know what I'm currently working on or
Right.
something like that. 'Cause-
Like Vince Sampella just put a facepalm.
yeah, yeah.
She's like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
And he's currently in charge of Jedi Survivor, which is a single player game as well.
But no, I'm not saying that I only like.
I know. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I know.
Well, I'm playing
I
multiplayer
love
right now. Okay.
multiplayer games.
Yeah.
I love multiplayer games with y'all, or I love playing like my house flipper and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Which is a single player
Like,
game.
Unpacking, those kind of things.
Lake. You really liked Lake.
Loved
How
like.
How the hell did they just shadow drop House Flipper into Game Pass without having kind of announcement? What's going on with that?
Yeah, they're
I
not
don't
doing
know
their
why
Game
they didn't
Pass
come to me.
things anymore.
Yeah, they haven't had an update, and all of a sudden House Flipper's showing up. I'm like, are you serious right now? Really?
Yeah.
They got so
Yeah.
many things they don't have time to.
You can't make a graphic.
I hope that people
busy.
will try it now that it's in Game Pass, coming to Game Pass.
Yeah.
Is it already in there?
It's in
Yeah,
there
it
now.
just-
Yeah.
It's in there now.
The 30th of June is when it was added, I think.
Yeah, it updated.
Download it, guys. It's so relaxing and fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can vacuum bugs and clean windows. It's great.
It's like, oh, you're gonna not throw them on it. Just try it.
No, because
I
you
think
got
Far
me
Cry
hooked on it,
5
right?
dropped in there today.
Did you like
Right.
it, Jasper? Was it your first experience?
I didn't play it.
I thought you just said you dropped in there today.
No, I said Far Cry 5 dropped into Game Pass today.
Oh well, we're not talking about Far Cry.
This is the House Flipper segment.
When House Flipper first came out, you even got sucked into one of the jobs and you were doing it for like a few hours.
Yeah, you got me fucking hooked on that fucking game. It's crazy.
You guys
I
should
still
see
play it,
the houses that she's made. It's insane. Like it's nuts. You know.
No, I'm really good. Okay, like
I liked her Cyberpunk one that she had. Remember when Cyberpunk came
Yeah.
out? They dropped that
Yep.
that
I
Cyberpunk
think
style.
I streamed a
Yeah.
little bit of that one.
Yeah,
Is
that was pretty damn cool.
Well, you can't stream your stuff now. I won't say
No.
why.
Yeah.
Oh, NDAs. Oh,
Yeah.
uh-oh.
Mhm.
Influencer, here we come.
Well, she just couldn't show the new stuff.
She's got a contract signed.
do.
Uh-oh.
Mhm.
But yeah, the stuff's like it's
so
pretty
nice.
awesome, man. Pretty freaking awesome. That game is like grown a lot, even. You know what I mean? Like, since it's been on Xbox, there's been so much content added to it. So shout out to them for supporting the game. And now that it's in Game Pass, I think it could potentially get even more support because I think people may try it and like kind of get hooked into it. Games like House Flipper are awesome to have on a service like that because it doesn't have to be all shooters and stuff. You
No.
know what I mean?
And I think when people play it like me, they're gonna want more as you like complete all the tasks and stuff. And like, if you go on Steam, like there's lots of House Flipper stuff, and I think they're slowly, trying to move it all to console.
Yeah.
Yeah, because PC has a lot of stuff for House Flipper. There's so much more content on PC for House Flipper.
Mhm.
It's kind of crazy. So
Yeah.
to see it on console is nice. And now being in a Game Pass, this way people can play it and they're going to be shocked. Like, oh, wow, this is something that I didn't think that I would enjoy and actually enjoy. Because it's
Yep.
just like one of those mind-numbing games that you just kind of fuck around, play for
Yep.
a little bit, and then, so this way change of pace. You don't sit there playing if you're, don't feel like playing Halo or, Doom, and then you just want
I feel
to.
like really chilling out and just your
Yeah.
mind getting completely sucked into something.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
And if your wife wants to play and and just wants to chill out next to you, you should flip it up on your phone. You can play it on your tablet. It's fucking fantastic.
And it's
You
only
can
for
play on the
wives.
go.
only for wives.
It's a wives
I
game.
said, well, if
I'm just
you're-
kidding.
if you're trying to get your wife to play video games, it's a great
Yeah.
game to get her to play, and then she's
You
gonna
guys
start
want the
playing
wife
Doom
house stuff.
and Halo
Yeah, because
All
she's
because
used
of
to
House
just
Flipper.
decorating the house. That's all she knows how to do. It's an easy way to get her into the game, right?
Oh my god.
Am I putting words?
No.
It seems like
Now
that's
you-
where you were going with this, Psycho. Am I putting words into your mouth? I mean,
You're doing a lot more.
I think we should. We'll cut that off there, Psycho.
No, it's fine. No, but I really like. I highly suggest anybody that hasn't given it a shot trying it.
Mm-hmm.
Just go do one job.
You
know?
can't play that game in co-op, can you? It's only single player.
No.
Oh, that's sad.
Unfortunately
Steel just
What?
called you out, Psycho. You're a sexist.
Psycho's
No,
not
I'm not.
a sexist. He loves ladies. He talks about them all the time.
Oh, I love the women.
Yeah.
I love the ladies.
Yeah.
Because I could like imagine if that game was
Yes,
co-op, you could do like a
Jasper's
fun like stream like where you make it like HGTV where you
Yeah.
have like two personalities be like, and today on this episode of House Flipper we're gonna tear down this wall and expand it for a full
so fun.
Oh my God. You just gave
Isn't
Kate a great
the-
idea for her streams in the future, right?
Oh.
Yeah.
Hey, isn't the actual the PC version of House Flipper is co-op?
Is it?
I believe I saw that, but I could be wrong.
Well,
Unless I'm thinking about the other game that looks like House Flipper that I'm remembering. That's
well,
coming
look
out.
it up and tell me if it is. I don't know.
Be awesome to see Caitlin in a hard hat and a tool belt on.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Controller in her hand.
Right on.
We're gonna turn this 18th century style home into a modern French architecture.
Oh my god.
Let's go.
Steel says you'll do the commercial.
Oh my god.
Yeah. On this episode, it's going to be live,
One
raw,
life.
uncut. He's going to get a fancy ass house built out of an 1870s ranch style. Let's go.
I'm gonna like plaster Louis Vuitton wallpaper all over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fantastic.
I would be down to watch those, babe. I mean, you got I guarantee you guys, like she's at least in the top like 5% of like nice houses that have been built on House Flipper. You know, like this is, I mean, it's next level shit, you know?
Yeah, I mean, not to, I don't toot my own horn on too many things, but I will toot
Yeah.
my horn on this one.
But one game you aren't as good at, but you're getting way better
What's
is Fall Guys. No,
What?
I'm just kidding. You've been
Wow.
absolutely great at Fall Guys, babe.
Wait,
Wow.
What?
that's rude.
No, I'm just kidding. You've been absolutely having a blast with Fall Guys, right?
I struggle a little bit, but don't we all?
I do definitely.
That's what I saw your freaking face when I said that. Oh my God. No, Fall Guys is so fucking fun, and you like everybody needs to be playing it. Like if you're not playing it, if you won't even try it, then you just don't like to have fun.
Pong.
Pong Soul calling
I'm
you
looking
out.
at one person right now.
Not my game. Not every
Yeah.
game is for every person, as we always
Fall Guys
talk
is
about.
for everybody. It's the game of the generation.
We've been having a lot of fun with Fall Guys. I've been playing a lot of Diablo. I finally finished the game, like all the way through. I did the Reaper Soul stuff. I did like a Rift even, you know, so I'm in like Paragon like 25, 26 or something like that now. I've been having a blast with that. I want to make a run through with another character, but we've also been playing Fall Guys on Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout, which is now in Game Pass. Or not, actually, no, it's free to play for everybody. Yeah, never mind, not in Game Pass. Free for everyone now. And I've been having fun playing that a lot with you, babe. And
It's free. We all just think it's like in Game Pass.
yeah, and Jasper and Psycho. We've been playing a hell of a lot of Fall Guys.
It's so much fun.
And the little Spartan bean guys are really cool. You know, I got the Brute Chieftain, I got the Spartan, and I got the Grunt.
Yeah, don't forget to flick the bean.
What?
They flick the bean in the one part of the game. It flicks you. It's crazy. I hated that part. No, so there's no co-op in House Flipper for PC.
Yeah, I didn't
It
think
just
so.
has 4 DLC. It has the Garden Flipper that came to Xbox,
Yep.
but it has HD TV DLC, luxury flipper, house flipper pets, and then the new development update that's coming out soon, farm flipper, where you turn your house into then you can have actually do the farm, so you can have alpacas and things like that.
Yep.
So it's pretty big on PC. It's slowly and surely coming for Xbox. So
Yeah.
Nice.
enough of that.
Back to Fall Guys real quick. Like, we've actually won a few games thanks to Jasper.
I think you got one last night by yourself. I died early. And
yeah, I finished one out. Yeah. Kate was the last one standing a few times too. I remember like Psycho finished first on one, and he tried to tell us all how to complete the level.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that was fantastic. I was pretending I was Jasper.
Yeah. So as far as like that game goes, like what it is just chaotic fun. And one of my favorite moments is when like you actually have finished and you're just watching your teammates struggle to finish. You know what I mean? Like that's the most fun. No, it doesn't matter if it's me or you or Psycho or Kate or whoever it is. It's like watching that last like bean walk around and like try and get to the finish line and just like jump off the ledges and stuff like that is like absolutely hilarious.
Then you figure out who it was, and you're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Back to House Flipper real quick.
Okay.
No, this is public information. The next DLC that will come to console is the luxury flipper.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
When is that coming? Do you have inside information on that?
I'm not 100% sure when it's coming yet,
Okay.
but I know that it's being tested right now.
Right. Cool.
Oh.
So
What's up, Sour Blow? What's up, Gogol Poe? Boba Fett. Hey, Boba Fett, you made a tweet about the dick pic. Made me laugh out loud a little while ago on the show. So that's your fault. It distracted me. But hey, everybody.
What?
No, he made a joke. Shit, I gotta find it again.
was it the one with like the almost look like a nude guy, but like was all
He's got a blurred eggplant. Yeah.
Oh, did you see fucking Mag's fucking video clip with the whole and his wife was beating him because he started trying to take a picture of it?
No, I haven't seen that.
My god, dude!
I gotta see that one. I saw his one in the floaty, like on the unicorn floaty in the lake.
A D-pic?
Yeah.
Yes. So there was this whole thing. There was the whole argument about like calling up Corey and be like, "Hey, where's that release?" And and he's just like, Starfield's coming out, you should play. And he's like, "Yeah, that's great." And then he pulled his pants out, was taking pictures, and his wife's like, "What are you doing? I gotta send it to somebody so I can get a release date." And she's like,
"Oh my god,
that is the stupidest thing ever." And he's like, "What? It works." Yeah, it was funny. You have to find it.
Oh man, Mag's hilarious, dude. I actually see it on Twitter. I'm gonna watch it after we're done here. But yeah, let's get everybody out here. I want to thank everybody in the chat for hanging out for this show. Again, this is episode number 95. We're 5 away from 100 now. So looking forward to that. Shout out to Boba again, Gogol Poe, Sour Blow, Steel Rain, the one and only. Let's see, Dark Zone, Aces. You got Big Papimo Fongo giving that House Flipper love in the chat as well.
Yes.
Doom Cutie, Realist, Shane, Alvin. What's up, man? The Sousa.
You don't do it right.
Alvin!
How's that?
Song's the best, but
Yeah.
fine.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so many awesome people
Yeah,
here,
it's like,
guys.
oh, it's 11:30 at night. You better be quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, on. All right, guys. So, babe, first to my heart, lovely life, Caitlin. Where can everybody find you?
You can find me on TikTok at Caitlin_fancy and Twitter at CaitlinX0615. Thank the chat. And yeah, I'm ready to play some games.
Heck yeah.
I'm playing Halo.
Yeah. Hey, Halo tonight.
Yeah.
Always Fuzzy Belvedere himself. Where can everybody find you, sir? Cruising on the streets and some racer, I suppose.
You can always find me on Twitter at fuzzy_Belvedere or YouTube fuzzy_Belvedere, Xbox Live, or even PlayStation, playing some sort of racing game at some point. Unless it's Division, which that's what I'm playing now. So
yeah, the more content came out for that. I haven't even touched it yet because I've been playing other stuff. But they need to dive back in again. Mellow fellow from outer space, the one and only Psychonauts. Where can everybody find you, bro?
Just want to say thank you for everyone coming out tonight in the chat. You guys are phenomenal. Love you guys. And deccaddo again. You guys are phenomenal. Find me everywhere. Social media, Psychonauts 8. You can find me FSP on Mondays at 10, correct?
Yes.
10?
Yep.
And then here Fridays. I almost said Fun Pop, but you know,
yeah.
We don't have Fun Pop no more. And you find me Fridays here. And you'll find me tomorrow, but I'll hold off and let Pong tell you where you can find us.
Right on.
For Saturday.
And then the Encyclopedia of Gaming, dating that back to the very first game ever created, the one and only Pong Soul. Where can everybody find you, sir?
Hey, first of all, just like Mav started the show, again, a reminder to everybody out there, please take a moment and keep Assassin Lupa in your thoughts, prayers, wishes, hopes, blessings, good and healing energy, whatever the case may be. Again, a friend, a family member, just an absolutely phenomenal human being that we want to say keep here for a longer period of time. So please continue to do so. She does need it, all the help she can get right now. So continue to do that. Please. Thank you so much for that. It helped out with Spooky. For anybody who remembers that ordeal that he went through, it does help whether you believe it or not. And at the end of the day, for her family, John, her husband, and her kids, just keep them all in your thoughts and prayers as she goes through this. Thank you for doing that. Love you all. Thank you all for showing up here tonight. As always, again, slower news week, but you all still turn up, and we got some new names in here as well. So welcome. And welcome to the Fun Speculation family. And we hope to see you back here again. This is what we do every Friday night. We have a good time. It's right, left, up, down. We don't know where we're going, but it's a great time. We're all laughing, and we hope you are too. So thank you all for being here, as always. And again, for the new people, man, it's awesome to see you come on in here. And we hope you'll be back. So otherwise, tomorrow, it's a full day. It's going to be a full freaking Saturday.
Yeah,
this is my first show of the week. This is the first show of the week, which is crazy for me, right? This is insane. The first time I've had a chance to talk, but it starts right back up again tomorrow morning. Living split screen. My brother from another Steel Rain, who was in the chat and probably still lurking in there. Look, we're going to get your Saturday started right. Drop on in. Mission 1K. We start at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central Time. Grab your coffee or just roll over, turn on your phone, and we'll be your alarm clock, okay? You can't help but get awake when you listen to him and I in the morning, because we are ready to rock and roll. So be there. Living split screen's all one word. Again, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 3 p.m. UK time. And then in between, normally it's the Shop Podcast, but in between that, as Psycho alluded to, Psycho and I are going to be joining the aforementioned Spooky Sprocket and Bushido and Jack Astronaut, right? And Charlie Hustle, all over at the Backlog Bastards. That's right. Spooky's got a brand new podcast. It's going to be a freaking fantastic time. I believe we are going to go. Normally he goes at 8 p.m. Eastern, but because I've got the shop, he's going to change that to 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 o'clock Central Time tomorrow night. Myself, Psycho will be there. We're going to have a great time over on Spooky's new podcast. So join us there. Again, that's the Backlog Bastards. Go look up Spooky on Twitter if you don't already follow him. Great dude. Just an awesome Aussie. So be there. We're going to have a fun time. And then the Shop Podcast, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 o'clock Central Time. That's PTK Blam's channel. And Fuzzy Belvedere, my brother from another right here on this show, is another panel member over there. So him and I and PTK, we're going to get down and dirty. PTK, who is our guest this week? Do we have one?
I think it's Sensei or something.
Sensei, that's right. Sensei is going to be there as well. We are going to have an awesome Saturday night conversation. So drop in there. Again, the Shop Podcast, PTK Blam's channel. Next week, I will actually be on Xbox Factor Podcast. We got some new members, including brother Infinite Umbra, who just dropped into chat. He has now joined the panel along with Daniel. I forget how his full tag is, but anyways, Boom is filling up the panel again. So be there, Xbox Factor Podcast. I will be there Tuesday, 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 o'clock Central Time. Double Barrel Gaming is the channel. You guys all know that. And then Mav and I, God willing, will be back for PM and the PM next week. Sorry about this week. This was on me, work calls. But next week, we should be back on schedule for PM and the PM on Thursday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 o'clock Central Time, right here on Fun Speculation. Otherwise, folks, it is the golden age of gaming. Play what you love what you play. Have a fantastic, fabulous weekend, and I'll talk to you all real soon.
Right on, man. Appreciate that. And shout out to PTK for making the special guest spot here right now.
I don't think Pong knows.
I don't think Pong realizes. You called Fuzzy PTK, but it's okay.
You're like,
Yeah.
You said, "Hey, PTK, who's on the guest this week?"
Oh, Jesus, PTK. Sorry, Fuzz. I did say my brother and another right here, Fuzzy, though. I did say that correct.
Yeah.
All right, sorry.
I
was meant to say, Fuzzy, who does PTK have on tomorrow night? That's what I meant to say. So
shout out to PTK, also one of the best, podcast hosts out there. I have to say, PTK Blam, been doing it for years and years, and just super consistent, well formatted show. Does a great job, just like neutral, good conversation, great topics, great panel, and he deserves a lot more viewers and subs on his channel, I have to say. So go visit the Shop Podcast, PTK Saturday nights, as well as Living Split Screen and Pong Soul and Steel Rain tomorrow. But let me get to a couple of the super chats real quick. Vik The CLiCK with a $5 super chat. Appreciate you, dude. He said, amazing episode, guys. Take care and enjoy your 4th of July. I'm out to the bar to forget where I park. Right on. Also, Alvin with a $5 super chat. It says, love XUP, sending love to Lupa, and we'll be loving Chorus and Far Cry 5 all weekend. Love all around. It's also Far Cry 5, interesting that PlayStation's whole Ubisoft Classics thing only got Far Cry 4, and now Xbox has got Far Cry 5. I guess we know why now, right? So we kind of called that, I think, back when that list was originally announced. But yeah, Jasper the Realist.
Yeah, now I got to follow Pong's outro.
Yeah,
flipped it this week.
Yeah,
Stop. Basically,
I know, man.
Hey,
So I'm sorry to do that to you. I'll try and leave Pong last for now on. But no, dude, Jasper, where can everybody find you, sir?
Yo, you can check me out at Lord Jasper on Twitter.
Love it.
Lord Master Jasper on YouTube. FSP is now Monday, 10 o'clock. No Fun Pop Wednesdays anymore, so I'm free on Wednesdays. And then Fridays is 9 o'clock Xbox Ultimate. That's pretty much where I'm at.
Yeah, right on, man. As far as what we got going on, guys, there's new content coming to the channel. Me and Kate are working behind the scenes to get some stuff going, and we're going to be coming out with some new video content. It's going to be kind of weekly formatted, and looking forward to bringing that out to you. I don't know exactly when we'll have our first, I guess, episode, or whatever you will call it. It's not going to be a podcast or anything, but that will probably premiere on Wednesdays in the future. And then, yeah, like these guys said, Fun Pop, yeah, it's no longer. I miss it. It's a very sad thing for me personally, but shout out to everybody who did watch that. And you still have this last final episode to check out if you haven't checked out the last episode of Fun Pop. But also, we still got other shows we're doing. Mondays is Fun Speculation Podcast at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. So check that out here on Fun Speculation. Also, Thursdays is PM in the PM with that guy way over there, Pong Soul, and I.
PTK and Mav in the PM.
We didn't get to have our show yesterday, but it's okay to take a break every once in a while. So we'll have our show back. We should be, I hope, everything willing, back next week with our PM in the PM next Thursday. We'll have a blast bringing that show to you. We always do. That's at 7 p.m. Eastern here on Fun Speculation. And also, just like this show, every Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, a show that started it all for our channel as well. Appreciate everybody who's tuned into this episode. Episode 95 was a blast. We started out in the pre-show low energy. You know, everybody's like, "Hey, how you been?" We ended up having a blast, I'd say. So thanks everybody for bringing the energy in the chat to help us get there.
You all had low energy. Let's just correct that.
You gotta save it for the show.
Yeah. And then look for more game streams and stuff. You know, we'll be doing lots of stuff, guys. So appreciate everybody. You guys rock. Chat, you were freaking amazing. John TJ, thanks for all the super chats. Everybody else, thank you for the super chats as well. All the support, all the channel members. We love you. You've seen your names scrolling down below. Appreciate all the support there as well. Anybody who listens to this on audio, hey, appreciate all the audio listeners. Again, like there's a lot of the audio listeners that aren't here live when we do our live show, and we've been growing on audio platforms as well. But one thing I would like to request, please, to audio listeners, it helps greatly to expand the reach of the channel if you leave a review on either iTunes, if that's where you watch, or Spotify, or wherever. There is ways to leave a review now on Spotify. So would appreciate anybody to leave reviews on those platforms. It would just help us reach more people, and I greatly appreciate that. And this was a lot of fun. Guys, you rock. And we're going to play some games tonight. So have fun, guys. Take it easy. Bye.
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 Bye, everybody. We'll see you soon. Oh.
Okay.